Yo YouTube, je suis venu là parce que j'étais en train de regarder une vidéo intéressante. J'étais en train de regarder une vidéo intéressante et j'avais plein de réactions. Et je me suis dit que ça serait peut-être bien d'avoir ces réactions et de les dire en live et tout comme ça. En même temps que je vais relancer la vidéo là. Et en même temps, je regarde Pokérev, là, elle ouvre une boîte Team Rocket, First Edition. Donc je regardais ça et en même temps la vidéo, du coup. T'es le mec qui paye des YouTube ads, là, Google Ads, pour faire le mongol comme ça. Je sais pas quel cours il vend celui-là.
A lot of stuff together. No, this is talked about inside the Bible as well, and this is where we.
Du coup, la vidéo, c'est 607 Hunk vs 10 Christians. Et là, le mec, là, il s'appelle Ro. Ils sont venus, ils l'ont pourri sur ma mère. Ce qu'il a dit 607 et ce qu'il a dit l'historien, là, qui parle, ils m'ont régalé. Parce que c'est exactement ce que je disais. Et eux, ils croient à la religion les yeux fermés. Alors que non. Et j'ai pas besoin d'avoir des connaissances avancées, d'avoir lu tous les livres et tout pour comprendre et pour avoir dit tout ce que j'ai dit. Je vais relancer la vidéo et puis à un moment, si on revient vers le sujet, je dirai ce que je pense, tu vois. Mais sinon, voilà.
We have these but you're not going to look in the Bible
That's
for
what
information
Zeus
around
is.
it. So you believe that
But
Zeus
I'm
is
saying that
so
the
you
existence
believe,
of Zeus exists. You see
you
these two
believe that
different
Zeus
history
is a
pieces.
literal historical figure. That's
Yes,
what you're saying.
sure. Go ahead. Yes.
You do?
Yes. I
Boy,
don't think you can shoot
I'm
lightning.
telling you, it's not
I don't think
Sunday,
you
but
can
they're
shoot
not going to let
lightning.
you back in church on Sunday.
Go.
You're there, not going to let you
These
in.
different religions
They gonna
all
say, "Oh, no, we
correspond and
closed,
they
brother."
overlap at once. No, no. I would like to know his sources.
If you just switch it right now, you know everything he said. You just.
Tu vois, le problème, c'est quoi? C'est que c'est des gens, ils ont grandi et la religion, ils l'ont hérité de force, tu vois. Ils ont été forcés ou ils l'ont hérité de force depuis leur plus jeune âge. Donc là, quand il le contredit avec des arguments qui sont justes et qui voit qu'en fait, il s'est fait niquer depuis toutes ces années, c'est pour ça qu'il a ses réactions depuis tout à l'heure. Parce que là, la vidéo, ça fait 40 minutes, je la regardais avant de venir.
On that side, you're trying to go against it when you should.
Religious bias.
I feel you.
You're not a fucking.
I follow Christ. I'm not a Christian in the sense of going to the church. I follow Christ. Christianity is following Jesus Christ. No, I'm not a Gnostic. I believe in following
He said
Jesus
a bunch
Christ
of
and the
things that were
consciousness
Gnostic.
of Christ.
Everything you have said has been nothing.
He said a bunch of things that
I follow
you said a
Christ.
bunch of things that
I
wouldn't be
follow
accepted in the
Christ.
modern church.
I understand that, and that's why I have issues with the pastors in the modern church. I have
Salut dans le chat, comment ça va? Moi, ça va, ça va. On entend bien le son ou pas?
issues with
Issues
some
with
of.
them lying about it.
Attends, c'est quoi, je regarde vite fait. On entend bien?
I'm not a Gnostic. I believe in following
He
Jesus.
said
Ouais, si, c'est bon.
historical figure that is a mythological figure.
No.
Okay, so that's probably the
I have
problem you should
issues with
have
making profit on the name of God and the name of Jesus.
Okay.
I have issues with making a mockery of it. And I have issues that they're going ahead and they're perpetrating and pushing through different verses like in Leviticus that tell you about being a good slave. I don't go hand in hand with those. I know that that's from the manipulation of the book that's been indoctrinated across the land. I
That's
have
a
an
good,
issue
that's
with
a
that.
good start. That's a
But
good start.
Exactement.
I'm saying,
C'est le seul truc intéressant qu'il a dit depuis le début. Parce que sinon, t'as l'impression qu'il suivait les yeux fermés comme ça.
I am a follower of Christ.
Okay, but you can be a follower of Christ. We're talking about
Right,
we're
so
talking
that is a
about
Christian.
We're talking about whether Christ was a literal historical living
Yes.
person.
So
That's what we're talking about.
So let me
I'm
go
not
ahead.
I'm not saying you can't be a follower
Right,
of
okay.
Christ. I would
So-
never say that to you.
So thank you. So
I'm
now
just
that
saying
we're back on the bias.
Jesus didn't die because he never lived. Are you forgetting the prompt?
I know, I'm not forgetting the prompt. I'm back to you.
Okay.
So they recorded for 33 AD that
Yep.
there was a sun moon.
Who
there was a
recorded that?
blood moon. They recently just released this information.
Okay.
That there was a confirmed blood moon. That was
Okay.
talked about on the night.
Yo, 607, vous l'avez cuisiné à lui, là. De lui avoir sorti l'historien, t'as été un bon. Il avait prévu, sur ma mère.
Of the crucifixion of Jesus Christ.
Okay.
That was a part of a satanic ritual. Jesus Christ was killed for a satanic ritual.
Where you get that from? Whoa, you going? He's going
This
even
is for-
farther afield than I am.
I'm
They
not.
are not going to let you
I'm
get into
telling
church
you.
on Sunday.
That's fine.
Come to the
Because-
shrine. We'll let you in. We'll let you in.
Look, man, I like you, and I don't
I
have
like
no
you
issue
too.
with
We-
you.
we're
But
good.
I do understand
Right.
where you stand on this.
Mhm.
But I'm telling you, that you can fact check that as well for 33 AD.
So you're
reported-
suggesting that if
blood
there
moon.
was a blood moon,
Yes, that was discussed
that
about.
that means that Jesus literally was crucified at that time.
Yes.
Do you know that when you
They
read,
documented-
wait, listen.
Yes, go
When
ahead.
you read comic books about Peter Parker, Spider-Man, they often use historical events. I have a cover of
Il donne le même exemple que j'ai donné la dernière fois. C'est comme je vous ai dit. J'en ai parlé il y a des mois de ça, en prenant l'exemple de Spider-Man. La vie de ma mère.
Peter Parker meeting Barack Obama. I think we both agree that Barack Obama is a literal figure, right?
Correct.
So does that mean that Spider-Man is a literal figure, someone that actually lived?
Do you agree that Pilate was a literal figure?
I think that we have proof now that Pilate was a literal figure.
Okay, but he interacted with Jesus Christ, and he was the one behind the execution.
So then you
of
believe
him.
that Peter
So would
Parker.
you-
Wait.
Go ahead. I like where you're going. Go
So
ahead.
then you're saying you believe that Peter Parker, Spider-Man, is literally someone who lived.
Did Peter Parker in real life not meet Barack Obama?
In real, what do you mean
Tom
by real
Holland.
life?
Tom Holland, the actor, did. So he still met Barack
I don't
Obama.
know if Tom Holland did Barack Obama.
He did.
Did he play Jesus too?
He didn't
Oh, if
play
he played
Jesus.
Jesus, we would-
But in the sense of your
we would
question,
turn off the podcast and watch a film.
But Spider-Man did meet Barack Obama in that sense.
So that means that
can
you
that
believe
not
that
be,
Peter
can that
Parker-
not mean that art and history cannot exist in one?
What I'm saying to
These
you,
comics can also be the
what I'm
same
saying to you
depiction of
is,
something that is
I
real.
think that you're
agree.
losing the point that we're
I'm
making.
not.
Let's wrap this
Jesus
up.
Christ did exist. Go
The
ahead.
point that we are making is that Jesus Christ was not a literal physical person. That's the point we're making. Is there a mythological story about him? Of course there is. Of course there is. And I even think there's wisdom to be learned by his story. But when
Yeah.
we try to make that story literal, historical, we have problems.
So what proof do you have that disproves that Jesus exists?
I just told you. I just told
Just
you.
because you haven't found anything.
The first
So
thing
if you
is,
don't find anything, that means it doesn't exist.
wait. It's not just not finding things. It's also looking at the fact that much of his story was told in an earlier tradition, and then the people that told you that there was a literal Jesus sought to wipe out that tradition.
I understand. So
right off the bat, you should say something is key here.
I understand what you're saying, but the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. Something can still be there.
Okay. Let's move on. Please hit like and subscribe. It helps us grow the show and helps us get bigger guests. Thank you so much.
Je vais vous raconter une histoire sur notre humanité. Je sers de channel à une entité extraterrestre que nous appelons Bachar.
If you said that beings here are taking blood or taking life force energy from, let's just say, the youth or to stay around longer, right? You said Earth is a prison planet, so why they not trying to die?
I'm gonna ask you a question. You said a lot of things. I know niggas in prison that don't want to get out, but you said something about. Repeat your question.
Why are they usurping
No,
energy
about the
from the-
blood.
Why do they need blood to live longer if this is a prison planet and they want to die?
You said nobody said nobody want to die. You said it's not possible.
No, I'm asking why they not trying to get up out of here like this. If you look at the,
Why
if
you
you look
ask-
at, hold on. If you look at, like, let's just say Egyptians, right? Just so everybody understand what I'm saying. If you look at the Egyptians, they studied how to die and not come back, right?
I don't think
So
you get it.
why is beings
No
here
one,
usurping
no
adrenochrome
one,
to stay here
no
longer?
one studied how to die. That thing that you just said was kind of like
Transcend, whatever you
Yeah,
wanna say.
exactly. So nobody studied how to die. See, a lot of people think that they was born dying, but then that's because they dead. Listen, I'm gonna say this. What I was talking about was stem cells, gang. That's inside of
Like a piece you just.
exactly. No, I'm talking about stem cells that's inside of your blood that they use in order to keep youth in the body. See, when you're talking, you're trying to confuse a lot of different things. You're trying to confuse the spiritual reality with the physical reality, right? I'm talking about this reality as far as the physical reality. Right now, they taking synthetic cells and putting them inside your body.
Right.
They creating them.
Foods,
They-
bioengineered ingredients.
Yeah.
When you look at the back of your Lay's,
Yeah,
you know what
I'm
saying?
talking
Eating
about
fake
that.
strawberry.
Yeah, I'm talking about that. I'm not talking about what you think I'm talking about. I'm talking about actual way
But you said
so your body
if they
won't
wanna
age.
stay, if they want to live longer, they gonna keep drinking the blood, right? They gonna keep usurping it. We in Babylon, right? Everybody can agree on that. We in a modern day Babylon.
Who said that? You said that.
I said that.
I say right now, see, listen.
But I'm gonna tell you why we in a modern day Babylon. You look at the flag, right? The LTTT flag. I'm just gonna say that y'all understand what I'm saying, right? It's flipped upside down because the chakra color is at the bottom. So you see
Right.
the purple crown frequency is sitting
Right.
at the bottom, right?
Right.
And the red root chakra is at the top.
Right.
What run the land right now?
Right.
Degeneracy, debauchery, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying?
To say all of that, you had to think about it right now. To say all of you just said, you had to think about it right now.
I had to think about it or pull it from my memory.
You had to say it right now. It only existed right now. There's no way, even right now, if you're gonna say, okay, cool, something gonna happen in the future, when you get to the future, it's gonna only be right now. All we have is right now.
We talking about right now. We in Babylon.
But
it's
you use
the
it-
Pride Month right now.
But you're using things from different realities that's also happening that don't have nothing to do with this
We in a
reality.
multiverse.
But you're here right now. That cannot help you right now. See,
Why I can't?
Because listen, I'm saying this. Information can't help you right now. Only thing that can help you right now is
Information can always help you if it's being applied.
Only thing that can help you right now is the fact you understand yourself and learn how to deal with you, right? Because a lot of people want to worry about information, but information can't help you. I know a lot of niggas that think they smart. They read a whole lot of
That's
fucking
true.
books. It don't help.
It don't help.
Listen, the only thing that's gonna help you is to take control of you, to understand that it's only you, and information can't help you, right? Listen, a lot of people assume that information is good, but they're gonna pass the information, you're gonna forget you. All I'm gonna say is this. Only thing that we both can prove right now that we're sitting across from each other in this moment.
Yeah.
Anything else that you saying, we can't even say that it happened.
So how
Only
do you-
by another man's
So who
idea.
made the prompts?
What's a prompt?
You playing delusional.
No, I'm
bro.
asking you what's a prompt. Explain to me what a prompt is.
A prompt is a set of questions.
Now ask your question again.
What is a prompt?
The question is the answer. Right? I don't think you understand because a lot of people say a lot of things, but once you say it, you already told yourself the answer because everything exists inside
On the
you.
prompt, it say that you agree that we live in a simulation planet, right?
I
We
never-
live in a simulation, Earth simulation.
Tout le monde prétend qu'il a tort et qu'il est fou, mais personne n'arrive à le...
607 Unc, the character agreed to a simulation
Who said
planet,
it? Who
right?
told you? Did you hear come on my
It's
mouth?
written on the paper.
But did you see or hear me say it? Listen, he just sat here and said that Jesus was here and nobody can understand and validate
Jesus-
that.
there's no
that
historical
paper
figure
don't
in the
mean
sky
that paper
named Jesus.
suggests that I said that. It don't mean that I
They
said
didn't even
that.
use J's in the alphabet.
He said that. He put that there. Them are his thoughts. Them are not mine. So we're here having a conversation. So
But you agreed to it when you sat down and spoke with me.
No. I didn't agree. I agreed to sit down.
You agreed with the prompts.
No, I agreed to sit
You
down.
made a spiritual contract.
No.
You sat down or somebody walked
agreed
out.
to sit down.
Okay.
Right? And I'm agreements to this conversation.
Right.
Right? I have not heard a topic.
Okay, so let me see that prompt. My first claim, 607 Unc versus 10. It said, this is why I said 607 Unc, because I read it said my. It didn't say first claim, is that it says my first claim, unless he didn't spoofed you or jugged you or what is called defrauded you your my.
Right.
It says my first claim is that Earth is a prison planet, right? So why is there beings here usurping blood to stay here longer? It can't be that fucked
Look,
up.
I'm saying this. Listen, I'm gonna say this again. For me, I know niggas that's better in prison. Right? They go to prison.
Yeah,
No, I'm free.
nah.
They go to prison and they better in prison because no matter where you go, it's a prison. Relationship is prison.
Right.
You go to a relationship and it get.
But you can be in a relationship and be free in your mind.
But not at 3 o'clock in the morning. Even if you ain't doing that, you gonna go start tripping because this girl gonna be tripping. It's gonna the thought go in your mind because she gonna think you doing something else. You are in her prison. Trust is a prison.
So if I end that relationship, where the prison stand, I'm free now?
No. There you go. Freedom is peace. Relationships is prison. Because let me tell you about relationship, because it's trust, right? You say trust is good. Everybody like, man, I want to trust everybody. I can't do that. Fuck trust. Because I only trust the fact that whatever you do, I trust in the fact that I'm gonna be okay with it. Right? And whatever decision you make is good for you. I can't make
But through
decision
your
for
journey,
you.
you was able to access peace or freedom, right? So why can't I access freedom on Earth?
It's kind of crazy because what journey? Because like again, if left and right is different, I suggest that nothing is ever moving that is never a journey. I suggest everything is at a standstill and everything's happening in the mind. That's what I suggest, right?
Okay.
Because I don't think nobody can prove that anything is moving. Because right now they say the earth moving, but you got other people that prove that it's not. Right now you got people saying the earth is flat. You got other people that prove that it's not.
But it don't matter.
No, because earth is not a location.
Right.
So I think everybody get it wrong when they try to make it a location and try to make it a shape. Earth is a shapeshifter.
So do you think it's like an architect of the Matrix? Like how they show it in-
Earth is a shapeshifter. It changed with the thoughts.
But the reason why I asked you, do you think it's an architect of the Matrix? Because who's setting up a simulation? A programmer.
Oh, no,
So who the fuck is that?
No, everybody think that because it's a program that it got to have a programmer. That's what you suggest. But the way it's no programmer. But if you want to call it a programmer, we got to call that programmer God. But it's not a God. It's
Or
making
the
a
creator,
decision.
prime source.
Listen, whatever you want to call it.
It's
God,
some shit, right?
creator.
But it's guys that run on this
Abraxas.
planet. It's guys that run on this planet. That's okay, right?
But listen, everything is God because listen, everything exists inside of God. So if you take one,
Let me say this. I think of God as generator, operator, destroyer of my realm when I think of the word God, right?
then that's God.
But the creator, I didn't create my heartbeat. I didn't create my heart. I didn't create none of how my body is.
Right.
Who designed this? Okay, somebody designed this table, right?
Right.
Who designed these human
See,
suits?
that's what caused a lot of stress. See, a lot of people think that, listen, I'm gonna say this. Right now, if people walked outside and it was $1 million on their doorstep, they're gonna just spend it. They're gonna enjoy it. They're not gonna say, who sent me this money? Now they're gonna spend all the time in their head like, who sent me this money?
Yeah.
See, that's the problem. Human perception is to want to know too much. You're here to observe this reality, right? You're here to enjoy this reality, right? You're here to feel emotions, both fear, pain, all of them you're here to feel, but you're not here to live in
So I'm
any
not
of them.
supposed to overstand.
No, you
Like when you say, okay, so I grew up in like, I'm not NOI or nothing, but my dad taught me like 1 through 9 knowledge, wisdom, understanding, all that NOI type of information because
Right.
he came up off that too, right? But what I'm trying to say is, I had a brain fart.
No, you never brain for us. What you just happened is you just switch realities, right? A lot of people understand it, and it go on in your mind. We switch realities all day,
It wasn't
right?
meant to be said.
It probably was, but you just switched realities, right? But it was said in a different reality, right?
right.
But listen, people don't understand that. A lot of people want this just to be one thing. But if it just be one thing, then it'll just be boring as fuck.
Yeah.
You can't stay here so long. A lot of people want to say that this is infinite. No, it's not infinite. It's infinite possibilities, right? A lot of things can happen here infinite amount of times. That's all I'm saying.
Thanks for staying all the way to the end, guys. It means a lot to me. If you could please leave a review on Apple, that helps us climb the charts. It helps us get way more guests, and it helps us continue growing the podcast as a team. So it would mean a lot to me if you left a review on Apple or wherever else you're listening. Thanks so much. One of the top debaters on the 1 on 10 series. Thanks for coming, bro.
Brother, how you doing?
I'm good. What do you disagree with Unc on?
Well, I was reacting to the last prompt about Jesus not being a real person,
Yeah.
and I think there's a lot of historical evidence that Jesus actually having existed. I don't know about the 25,000 documents and stuff.
It said
but
about 8,000 on the
8,000, but like you have like the Shroud of Turin, for example, where you have something that is a nuclear fusion that happens with this man's body, so it literally prints on the actual fabric, which I don't think there's ever been a human in history that has gone through nuclear fusion. And we're talking about a photocopy from 2,000 years ago of this man's
And
body.
it had the face on there?
It had the face, it had the wounds.
Let me ask you one question. The face that was on there,
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. That face looked just like the face that was painted of Jesus that was not Jesus. That was the face that looked like yours, right? Because that's the face they put next to it. But that's not Jesus. So whoever that was, it was not Jesus. And that is proven that Jesus didn't have your face. Because
How is that proven?
history, they just proved it because where he was from, where he grew up at, and it was hot as hell over there. How the fuck could he be pale? It doesn't make sense.
I mean, my ancestors are from places that are
Well,
hot as hell, but like
think you
they're
get
Caucasian.
her of wool.
Hmm?
Her of wool.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Her of wool.
What is that? Hair wool.
That what Jesus had.
Okay.
Do you have her of wool?
What is hair?
Do you
wool?
even
What is
have
that?
her at all?
Oh, I don't actually.
No, you don't. Listen, I don't understand. So listen, I'm saying, according to the fact that
What is hair wool? What does that mean?
listen. According to what you said, you believe that Jesus existed. The Bible also gave a description. They told you how Jesus looked. And the blanket that you suggest was Jesus, that also put a face in front of it. The face in front of it was different than the way they described Jesus in your Bible. So who was under that blanket?
Well, the question to me is, what's the coincidence that literally 2,000 years ago, right around the time that this dude dies, where he's resurrected, there's an actual...
You didn't answer the question. Why is the face different?
See, but you're already coming to the conclusion that the face
No,
is prescribed
no,
wrong.
no, why? No, they took the picture of the face. That's what they did. That's why everybody comes to the conclusion. They took the picture of Jesus painting, that was painting by, that was not Jesus, and they took the blanket,
Wait, which
and they
picture
put
are
them
you
together.
talking about?
Listen, the picture with the blonde hair and the blue eyes.
But that's not what the Shroud of Turin
But
shows.
that's the
Shroud of
one
Turin
that they
shows
put
a-
together.
that
That's the
shows
one they
like
put
more
together.
of a Arabic-looking
No,
man.
they did not. They showed that same fucking Jesus. Pull it up.
Says
No, pull
the
it up,
Shroud
yeah,
of Turin
pull it
was
up.
Carmen
Shroud of
David.
Turin is very ethnic-looking.
But it's
man.
gonna be,
not
it's gonna
just
be
a white
it's gonna show a white Jesus. I say Chinese people are white too, but the white people won't accept it. Right? Listen, I say that everything pale is white. Everything that don't have hair is white, and everything that don't have hair is human. And it's
Is
different
it?
from me.
Does it right here?
Yeah,
That's a
that's not Jesus.
I mean,
That's the fake Jesus.
but like, how does that line?
Because that's the fake. Look at the face. That's the fake one that's on everything. That's not Jesus. So how can you say that's your proof?
I'm seeing a
Get the
Middle
fuck
Eastern-
outta
I'm
here.
seeing a Middle Eastern man with a
But
big nose.
listen.
That's not a white man.
Listen,
That's a there's.
Do
the
me one
way-
favor. Do me one favor.
Yeah.
Do me one favor, right? And I'm gonna say this. I'm not telling you that Jesus did not exist. So let's start. Everything that you learn from Jesus, accept it. It's real, right? But what you're trying to describe right now and suggest cannot be accurate. And you got to look at the
How could it
facts.
not be accurate?
Because that face, right, is a painted face.
Is a
That
white-
is a painted face that do not describe the way it was written in the Bible. And if you describe the way it's written in the Bible and put it beside that face, you will have a difference.
So what is that? What is that from 2,000 years ago?
You got to tell me I ain't do it, right? It's not Jesus, right? It's not Jesus.
It's been carbon dated. Yeah. It's right around the time of the resurrection.
It says 1260 to 1390
No,
CE.
check
Listen.
out the updated carbon.
Listen,
dating.
the point that doesn't, listen, hold on, look, that doesn't matter. Listen, all that, y'all worry about the wrong shit. The only thing that matters is a different fucking face. That's all that matters.
Hey, let me ask you this.
What matters is the fucking face is different, gang. So
Different from what?
listen, different
to
from
your
the
perception.
no different from the perception of what they say and who they say is Jesus.
But you guys
When they
just
put
talked
that
about how
there,
they've altered the Bible so
Listen,
much. Could it have been
listen.
that they altered it to make him look a lot more Caucasian than he actually was? Because that man looks like an Arabic, Italian looking
Listen,
dude.
I'm
He
not-
doesn't look like a white
listen,
person.
I'm gonna say it again. White is white, no matter how you put
That's
it.
all- that's all I'm
But I'm saying that face. Listen, that face is the same painted face that everybody in the world know now was a fake picture. So that itself, who the fuck is that? Right? That's all I'm saying. And I'm gonna say this. You gotta understand this. The things that Jesus taught. Like, I don't want people to say, oh man, I believe in the things that Jesus taught, right? Jesus taught the kingdom of heaven within. Jesus said, what I do, all men can do, right? Jesus did not say, pray to me. Jesus didn't even want to do shit for his mama.
Yeah.
Right? I'm keeping it real. So you gotta understand this. So if you want Jesus, I'm gonna take you to him. But the problem is up your ass.
Jesus. is
That's the only
man.
part. Yeah, it's inside you. All right?
Well, it's in your
yeah.
the kingdom of God is within you. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
my ass. Or maybe
You ain't never heard the pastor? You ain't never heard the pastor? You ain't never heard the pastor? When Jesus came in me? That's all the pastor's talking about.
All right, so
Jesus
listen,
coming in him.
Your guy was
Yeah,
saying, your guy was saying that-
Hallelujah. Thank
your
you, Lord.
guy was saying that he's a historical figure. He doesn't really exist.
No, I'm saying this. I'm saying this. Everything. Or, do me a favor. I can show you where everything at right now. Everything exists only one place. Even if you close your eyes, it's still there. Everything exists in your mind. Whatever you think it is, right? Jesus' consciousness is available to you, but only when you accept it and put it in you. When you take it and say, Jesus, help me, and you put it outward, it do no good for you, right? Because you're begging. I'm not begging for shit, right? Because you gotta understand, the universe don't work that way. Because, like, it doesn't matter if you pray 1,000,000 times, if you go outside and don't look both ways, you're gonna get hit by a car. Prayer won't stop that. Awareness will, right? So everybody is worrying about the wrong thing. Life is about awareness. It ain't about no fucking prayer. You can pray all you want, right? But the fact is, you have to be aware. And listen, if you want there to be Jesus in your mind, all I'm gonna tell you is follow him then.
I mean, I don't even care what Jesus looks like. I'm just saying, like,
Follow him
the fact
then.
that
Listen,
there's a
we can
shroud of
debate. We can debate about what
me
it looks
ask you
like.
this,
Follow
though.
him.
Let me ask you this, Phil, because your friend was saying that this is not a real person, Jesus, right? Do you agree with that?
No, he said it's you. Right? Listen.
Did he physically exist 2,000 years ago? Is my question.
Did humans physically exist 2,000 years ago?
Yeah.
Then I suggest yes.
So
But
you think there was a real Jesus?
I suggest that Jesus is consciousness. I suggest that everything is Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
But do you think that there was a man that came, like, was crucified, came back to life 2,000 years ago? Do you believe in that?
I believe a lot of men died, right? I believe crucifixion was a thing that a lot of people did, and I believe that everybody died was a man. If you say it was a man, and I believe that everybody had Jesus in them.
Do you think Jesus came back to life? Do you think Jesus defeated death?
I think that everybody defeat death, because I think nothing dies.
No, there's no. Who's defeated death? There's
everybody.
only one figure that's
everybody. Listen, that's a lie. Did you know that? Did you know they got defeated by they defeated death like this? So they was in a tomb each one time, and they saw a bug, and this bug had ate a plant, and it died, and it came back alive in 3 days, and then after they did that, they made the chemical out of that same shit, and then they died and came back up in 3 days. Hold up. They saw it. They recorded it. They saw it. He died, came back up. Listen, no, it was a female. It was a woman. She died, came back up 3 days, and when she came back, she was enlightened. It was the resurrection. Right? So resurrection happened before Jesus. Right? Listen, it's good to die on purpose. Right? Listen, I don't think you understand, gang. When you dream, you be in a different reality, but when you die, it's kind of like different. Right? But that's the thing. That's a sport. That's what people do. That's what you did to be enlightened. Right now, in certain traditions and certain monks that you can't actually get unless you die, meaning that you astral project, meaning that you take your soul out of your body and you're able to look at it. That means you're dead. It's several levels to this, and I don't think you understand. It's different levels of consciousness, right? And Jesus is a level of consciousness. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying they harness the power of Jesus, right? And wherever Jesus go, the collection plate follow. And you paying for a subscription to Jesus. You paying for a subscription to Jesus, gang.
I don't know. That's a corruption.
It's a subscription.
No. Let me ask you this though. Like, why do we hear that this man had 12 disciples? We know he had disciples. We know that disciples traveled all around the Middle East and Near East. We know that, for example, St. Bartholomew landed around the Caucasus Mountains, right? The dude got skinned alive because he was a Christian. While he's getting skinned alive, this man is singing St. Bartholomew, one of the disciples of Jesus. So while this man is getting skinned alive, he's singing hymns to God. So to me, there's something supernatural about that. It ain't like some, person.
Who told you that?
Story. That's a real story.
Who told you that?
Look it up. Read about
I said, who told you that?
I mean, I've read it in history books of Armenian
In what book?
descent.
In what book?
Of Armenian descent. This is the whole story about how Armenia became Christian.
Okay. In what book? In what book did you read it?
I mean, these are like manuscripts, Armenian manuscripts. You can look them up, dude. Google it. St. Bartholomew.
No, I'm not asking Google. I'm asking you. In what book did you use it?
These are Armenian manuscripts from old Armenian monks that were around. I mean, this is an ancient culture. So these people are around while this was going on. They have actual testimonials about the St. Bartholomew guy literally getting skinned alive.
Question. Is every book fact?
I mean,
what makes a book fact?
I mean, we could use that standard on everything because we weren't there. Like,
you say what? Hold on. Go back. You use that standard on everything. You wasn't there 2,000 years ago. So why the fuck do it matter now?
I mean, what to me is like when you have 12 individuals that are ready to be killed and tortured in the most heinous ways.
That's a lie. Jesus said, before the clock crowed twice, you would deny me 3 times, and they denied him. Nobody's ready to fucking die for Jesus. Right? The disciples were ready to die for Jesus. The disciples ran and hid.
No, but then
they all ran and hid.
But then the disciples went around preaching, and they all got killed because they were preaching.
I knew a lot of niggas that do it in the hood. When the gunfire run off, they go back outside. Nigga, when it was drama time, the motherfucker disciples that you call disciples, they ran, and Jesus knew that they was gonna run.
But then
according to Jesus,
then he was resurrected.
Well,
that showed him that he defeated
that's according to what
death.
text we.
That showed him that he defeated that. That gave him conviction to die for their cause, and you don't die for nothing.
You ever heard of Gnostics?
Yeah, of course.
They got a different story of Jesus' resurrection and Jesus being killed. They said Jesus never died, right? And listen, I'm just saying. I don't think you understand. So a lot of different stories, a lot of different things you can say, but I think the only thing that matters here today is you, right? So I think we can all sit here and say, okay, Jesus has some good stories. You think Jesus has some good stories? Take them and put it into you. but nothing gonna help you unless you decide to take it right now and move that way right now.
No, I believe that. I mean, kingdom of God is within you. I
Yeah,
agree.
exactly. That's what
That
Jesus
thing we
said.
agree on.
Jesus never
We
asked
agree on.
nobody to worship him, never asked nobody to pray for him, never asked none of that shit.
I agree with that. I agree
Right?
with
So
that.
I'm just saying, so when they do that, that's for separation and control. Right? The church do that for control. They do that for separation. I'm not saying you shouldn't believe in Jesus. Everybody should have belief, because belief is first. Belief is what man thinks is true. But once you believe in Jesus and you truly believe in Jesus, you're gonna understand that that's a myth.
Yeah.
But that's not gonna stop you
I don't
from
know
understanding
about
that the consciousness is here and that you can tap into it. That ain't gonna stop you from understanding that.
I
But
think could I segue real quickly to
Yeah,
the other
wrap it up,
prompt?
yeah.
The other prompt that like I think ties in with this is, are we in a prison planet? I think the answer of that is yes. I think Jesus was brought down almost like a Neo from the Matrix. I hate to give a pop culture reference to basically show us that this is all BS. Everything. It's all.
so
BS. It's all
the
fabrication.
problem is with Christians, Muslims, and even when Rose sat here, they all want to take bits and pieces of everything to try to justify what they believe, because that's what the brain do. See, what the brain do,
Wait,
the brain,
how am I
hold
doing
up,
that?
listen, the brain is going to put together every piece it can to prove to you that what you think it is correct. That's how your brain is programmed, right? That's your brain itself.
Yeah.
See, right now, he is getting information from everywhere. He's talking about Jesus' existence, but he's going to prove something from over here as a fact. But if you take everything with it, and that's also going to prove that he didn't, but he did, but he didn't. So look, I'm saying, but the Matrix, they talk about a movie, so they're gonna put Jesus in the movie. So
No,
if you
no,
can
but
if you can put Jesus in the movie, then Jesus in the movie got to be the same,
No,
right? How can you do
The
it?
whole point of the Bible is that we're in the Satan's playing ground. That's what the Bible says. We're in Satan's playing ground. So when you look at something like the Matrix and it's telling you how everything is a fabrication,
right.
everything is made to corrupt,
Right.
everything is made to steal the
Right.
rules.
Right.
And you look at our Federal Reserve, that's what that is. That is a complex plan to basically make us all.
So the plan.
And when Jesus came and he told us, look, man, this is all Matrix.
Hold up, go back.
Yes.
You said the plan here is to make us all the slaves.
Yeah.
So everything here is to make us a slave.
Yeah, 100%.
How did you hear about Jesus?
What do you mean? How did I hear?
How did you hear about it?
Well,
Oh.
Yeah.
How did you hear about it?
I mean, through family tradition.
So, how did they hear about it?
My grandma.
From here,
Yeah,
from the prison.
from prison. Yeah.
Listen, everything inside prison is the prison.
Because the human
You
spirit
said,
is
hold
not
up,
escaping
but
slavery.
you said
That's what we're trying to do.
that it's a prison,
Yeah.
right? And you said that you heard something from a prison. So you just said everything that you said and agreed with everything I said. So why you not sitting over here with me? Come over, sit on my
No,
lap.
I agree with you, Jay, except I think Jesus was a real person. I think Jesus was a Neo that came here to teach us that this is all BS, to tell us that the kingdom of God is within us, to break down these walls that humans create to cause constant friction, and that's why.
Well, that's crazy because I'm Jesus. You ain't know that.
Yeah.
You sitting across from Jesus. I'm keeping it real,
Yeah.
right? Because people don't understand that. I
Did
do
you mix
miracles.
some water into wine, bro? Like,
Ask
you
them,
like-
ask niggas in the hood what I do with some water and some bacon soda,
fish.
right? Ask them in the hood what I do. No, for real. Listen, when I'm in the hood, I'm known for creating miracles, nigga. I'm Jesus in the hood, right? No,
You
nigga,
can
no,
make trouts and
nigga. I
stuff,
could turn one fish to 500 too, nigga. I'm keeping it real. I could turn. Listen, I'm keeping it real. Everything Jesus did, I can do. But listen, I'm a fisherman of men now. There's a difference. But I can survive. I can survive everything. I can do miracles. I can do all the things that Jesus did. There's nothing that Jesus did that I couldn't do. Right? But that's what I'm telling you. But you possess the same power, but you want to keep on giving the power to Jesus, so be it then.
No, that's not what. No, I think the kingdom of God is within us, but I think these bodies are not.
So
enough for us
why
to
does it
do
matter?
Because we can't ever become like Jesus. We just can't.
You
That's
can
like,
lie.
that is like.
So listen. So how can you say you believe in Jesus? Jesus said, "What I do, all men can do."
He was without sin. So already I'm behind the eight ball.
No.
with that.
If you listen,
So
Jesus said.
I probably screwed up a lot.
Look,
Like, I was never without sin.
all right. Jesus said what sin lied, right? I can prove to everybody. Everybody said Jesus didn't sin, but I can prove to everybody Jesus said. What Jesus tell you sin lied? Jesus described you what a sin lied. Jesus said the sin lied in what? The thought, right? Jesus was tested by who? The devil, with bad thoughts, right? That was sinning. Jesus was a sinner too, right? Because Jesus described you what a sin was. He said after the thought. The moment he was tempted by the devil, he was sinning.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
he was sinning.
He wasn't tempted though. He still
No, he
rejected
was
the
tempted because he
devil.
told him to do it. He knew that it was there. The moment that you know that it's there, you know that it's sin there, you know that it's there, it's in your mind, then you're doing it. Because that's what Jesus suggested. And he said, throw the first rock. Right? So
If you're
you
without
got to,
sin,
yeah, because no one is without sin, not even Jesus.
Okay.
And he documented his sin.
Final point, Ben.
Man, I don't know if I have one, dude. I just think Jesus was a real, like, he was Jesus, and I get what you're saying.
Jesus was
by
a
the way,
real
bro, where
sinner
it's
like all the rest of us if he existed.
These were other, like, you heard other Jesus-like characters. I've heard about in ancient Egypt how there was. I still don't think that negates the fact that Jesus was real. And I do believe that the Shroud of Turin was sent
let's do me a
for this
favor.
particular
Well,
topic, so we can't deny it.
All right. Well, do me a favor. Go run and tell the church that Jesus sinned too. Because he told the church what a sin was, so he done it too, right? And what he do, all men can do. So just like he could sin, he could be saved, you could be born again. So fuck what Jesus said. I just asked for you to be born again, nigga.
Mm-hmm. All right. Learned anything from this episode or got any value at all, please share this episode with a friend. It helps us grow the channel, it helps us grow the podcast. It means a lot to us. Thank you so much. First ladies on the show, on the 1 on 10 series.
Oh, really?
Thank you
Okay.
for coming, being brave.
Awesome.
You wanted to do the first prompt?
I did.
Okay. The Prison Planet one?
I did.
Are you cool with that?
Oh, yeah, I'll do
Okay.
it all. And then I wanted to talk about Jesus being the serpent in the Garden of Genesis.
Yeah, bring that up. Go
Okay.
ahead and start it off.
So the first prompt is that Earth is a prison planet. And I
Yeah, and you disagree with that. Yeah. Why do you disagree with that?
Well, I've never been to prison, but.
Yeah. Could you speak louder too?
Yes, absolutely. So I've never been to prison, but as I understand, you must be sentenced for a crime. So I would want to know, if this is a prison planet, what is the crime that we're sent here?
Well, like Anka explained it, it's not always that you're having a crime, but you do know that the Bible, because you're a Christian, right?
I am.
The Bible tells you that you're born in sin.
We are.
So to ask me what is the sin, you should already know. But I don't subscribe to that. Just if we're going to stick in the Bible says that you already are a sinner when you're born.
Yes, that's why we do.
And the Bible tells you that. So you answer that question. What is your original sin?
Well, the original sin came from Adam, when Adam and Eve disobeyed God.
To be honest, I'm glad you brought that up because Adam and Eve never disobeyed God.
I understand that's what you think.
They
but
disobeyed Elohim. That was not God. That was a council of gods or spirits.
And that's fair and that's fine. You can call him whatever you want to call him.
So you agreed that wasn't God?
I don't agree. What I'm
Okay,
saying,
so can you prove that wasn't God? Because I can't.
I can't prove it, and neither can you.
Oh, yes, I can actually. In the Hebrew, Elohim is plural for gods. That means there's more than one. That leans toward my position that it is a council, not just one. So I prove it that way. And I can also prove that God isn't supposed to lie, but the Elohim did lie in Genesis 3. Actually, in the Genesis, 3, they said, don't eat the fruit, and if you eat it, you'll die.
Right.
Adam and Eve didn't die when they ate it. So God can't lie. So
They
that
didn't
couldn't have
die
been God.
immediately, but they did die eventually.
So do you know in the scripture that it actually says, in the day you eat it, in the moment you eat it? Do I need that too?
No, I think your
No.
voice is loud enough.
My voice, I'm an orator. So loud, you could use that. But anyway, the Bible says, when you eat it, in the moment you eat it, that's the scripture, you will die. Not later. It doesn't say, Christians have been taught that. So you can understand and cope with the lie that's been told to you, that the serpent is evil. So it says you'll die immediately. And at the end of that chapter, the Elohim turned to each other. You know what they say?
No.
Oh, wow, they ate it. Now they're going to be like us. Wait, I thought you said they were going to die. Now they're going to be like you gods. So really, you just told them you didn't want them to eat it because you didn't want them to be gods.
Well, I believe that God created us in his image, and he said when he created male and female, it was to reflect him. We can debate this all day. I don't think you can prove it, nor can I prove it, because neither of us were there, and that's why it's
Well,
called...
wait a minute. I
wasn't
thought you
finished.
believed in the Bible.
I do. May I finish?
Sure.
Okay, that's why it's called faith. And I had the same questions when I was coming up. If we had all of the answers, we wouldn't need to believe. All of us choose what our faith is. I do believe in the Bible. I do have questions about the Bible. I respect that there were faiths before Jesus came. But for me and for my house and for what works for me, I believe to follow Christ. Yes, there are discrepancies. Yes, there are things that are painful to read, especially in the Old Testament, but it doesn't mean that for me, it's not true.
Okay, well, you went into a lot of,
Pour moi, déjà, on peut pas se baser sur le truc de Adam et Ève. Je l'ai déjà dit la dernière fois, c'est des conneries. Parce qu'automatiquement, là, je viens de taper dans l'IA et ça me dit quoi? Et je vais pas lire tout le paragraphe quand même, attends. Pour moi, exemple, j'ai tapé quoi? Comment ils pouvaient être les premiers humains alors qu'il y avait déjà les hommes préhistoriques des millions d'années avant ou des centaines de milliers d'années avant? Et ça me dit quoi? La réponse scientifique est qu'ils ne peuvent pas être les premiers humains biologiques. Les personnes qui acceptent à la fois la science moderne et les récits bibliques considèrent généralement Adam et Ève comme un récit symbolique ou théologique plutôt qu'un compte-rendu historique au sens strict. C'est donc essentiellement une différence entre une explication religieuse de l'origine humaine et une explication scientifique fondée sur les preuves archéologiques et génétiques. Donc à partir de là, tous les trucs religieux, c'est bullshit. Ils disent qu'il y a plusieurs interprétations possibles. Mais bref, c'est plein d'incohérences pour moi. C'est
your beliefs, but
le débat, il a même pas lieu d'y avoir en fait.
That's what faith is.
yeah, I don't want to go into faith. I want to talk about the Bible.
I'm
and
not a
what the
Bible
says.
scholar.
Okay, then you agree that the Elohim were not God.
I never said that. I
Okay,
said
well-
I believe in the God of the Bible. I understand that you have facts that you really want to prove, but we could do this all day and all night. For me, the life that we are given, the time that we are here on this earth, is to make it better, to use the gifts and talents that we were given. Whatever you believe is to leave this place better than you found it. For me, I promote marriage and family, and I think that's what's a priority. I believe God told us to go forth and multiply and to take dominion of the earth and to use the resources that he's given us to make it better. So you can spend your life debating biblical facts, and that's totally fine. I choose to do otherwise.
Okay, well, I'm here to actually debate and tell the truth. So let me get back to the prison planet thing.
Okay.
You, on one hand, say you don't think it's a prison planet, right? Because you said you need a sentence to get into prison.
As I understand it,
Pour moi, je pense que c'est un manque de maturité intellectuelle que d'être en 2026 et de croire aveuglément tous les trucs religieux et de l'histoire, sachant que au cours de l'histoire, tout a été remixé, tout a été modifié. Comme par hasard, les trucs religieux, ils viennent tous de la même endroit sur la planète, toujours vers les mêmes pays, vers les mêmes endroits. Tout est bullshit. C'est comme le truc que je disais la dernière fois. Entre l'Égypte et la Mésopotamie et je sais pas quoi. Ils se sont tout réappropriés et tout. Tout est manipulé et ça a toujours été depuis toujours. Et il n'y a même pas besoin d'avoir été là réellement, parce que même de nos jours encore, c'est toujours le même concept, c'est toujours fait des mêmes façons. C'est toujours remixé de la même façon, c'est toujours réapproprié, c'est toujours les mêmes trucs. Et ça a toujours existé en fait. Il y a un des lives que j'avais fait il y a 6 mois de ça ou quoi, même plus, où j'en parlais justement.
that when you go to prison, you are convicted of a crime
So
and
sin.
you are sending of your time.
Original
Yes.
sin.
Yes, the original sin. But when God first created the earth and he created Adam and Eve and humans, he said it was beautiful and he was pleased with his creation. After our choice of sin, then
l'IA, ça me disait quoi? Ça me disait pourquoi ils ont des réactions hostiles et tout comme ça et ils n'acceptent pas. Et comme cette meuf-là, par exemple, qui parle là, c'est que pendant des dizaines et des vingtaines ou je sais pas combien d'années là, 40 ans ou quoi, ils ont cru à un truc qui allait dans une direction et tout, puis ils se rendent compte que en fait c'est bullshit, tu vois, et qu'il y a des gens ils viennent avec des arguments et que ça contredit tout et que ça leur montre les incohérences et tout et ça donne, comme il disait, des réactions hostiles comme ça.
Now have the sin and the consequences that come from that, but we were not born with sin.
So you don't agree with the Bible?
I do agree with the Bible. Yes, I have questions about certain things, but I don't believe that I don't believe the earth is a prison. I believe that the life that we have and the earth is what you make of it. You can choose to live a miserable life. You can be in prison in your mind. I choose to look at the blessings that we have, the bountiful goodness that we have, the forgiveness that we have, the grace that we have, the beauty all around us. I really think it's up to you to decide, and that's what I choose.
Do you
That's
think
my faith.
atheists don't look at the beauty and look at
No,
that?
absolutely. As far as I know, and I'm not
So
a
it's not
relig-
exclusive to Christians?
Absolutely not. And I said that. I know that there are several faiths that came before Jesus was here, and I respect everybody else's faith. As I understand it, I'm not a religious scholar, but atheists don't believe in the God of the Bible. But you can look at the majesty all around you. You can look at the ocean. You can look at the mountains. You can look at a beautiful flower, colors, and you can appreciate that beauty.
Okay. Well,
Absolutely.
this isn't really, if you don't debate and you're telling me about all these beautiful things, maybe you're not the person I should be talking to, because I
That's
want to
fine.
speak to someone who actually would be able to dispute the information that I'm presenting. You're not really disputing anything that I'm saying.
I'm not trying to convince you. That's
Okay,
why it's
well, that's
faith, it's a
great. I
choice.
love you for that. I would like to speak to someone who wants to dispute the facts that I'm bringing out. If there's
Do you wanna
anybody
make
else
a-
who could
Do you want to
do
make a
that.
final statement?
Yeah, my final statement is that I believe in the God of the Bible. I am a Christian. It is a choice. It is faith. We don't have all the answers, but I believe in promoting marriage and family, and that's why I'm here. And I believe that's what we're supposed to do.
That's awesome. Is there any Christian here that believes that Jesus is not the serpent in the garden of Genesis 3? Well, you're not debating me though. You're being super sweet and like telling me about your feelings about
No,
babies and puppies. I want to talk to someone about who will say, yeah, Jesus, because do you know Jesus? I wanted to talk about Jesus being the serpent in the garden.
we can have the
So
conversation, but
did Christ lie at all, ever?
no, the word says that Christ was sinless, and that is why he took on our sins. If you believe, I understand that you don't.
I do believe, actually, I do. I
Okay.
believe that Jesus is the serpent in the garden. I believe that Jesus is the historicity of Christ. But I know that there are lies being told to you, so you can believe otherwise. Why would a serpent be evil? How can a serpent even talk?
I believe in the polarity. For good, there's evil. For up, there's down. For bad, there's good. All right? I don't believe that Jesus is the serpent. The serpent is Satan. Maybe it's a representation, maybe it's not Satan incarnate, but
Moi, je suis pas trop d'accord avec ce qu'ils disent.
it is a representation of evil to tempt the one.
Pour moi, c'est comme tout, ils diabolisent tout. Et pour moi, le serpent is Jesus, is not Satan. Satan is the truth. Et c'est pour ça qu'il est diabolisé comme ça.
Woman who then disobeyed God. I do believe that that actually
Let
happened.
me explain. Let
I'm
me
sorry?
explain this to you.
You can't disobey God. You divine energy, divine feminine.
I disagree.
You can't disobey anything. You are beautiful, right?
Well, thank you.
Whole.
I'm not
Right?
perfect.
You existed. That's how you popped up. It was God, right? And God was a basket of energy. Feminine existed. Energy just existed just because God was there. You was always there. You are the wisdom, right? You are the light of the world. Everything comes from you. But this one thing they did with history removes you. Right now, everybody that was taught, everybody watching this right now was taught by a woman, right? But in every book, it's a man that's doing the teaching and the telling. So you're defending man history. She's trying to tell you about yours, right? Because what's inside of you is something way more special than that story, right? They even track orders around. They do it the wrong way because they track it by men, but men have put you in prison. They have gave you their name Because to track true origins, they got to track it from a woman. Because if I have sex with a woman, you don't know if that's my baby, but you know that baby came from that woman.
I disagree with
You know
you.
the baby came from a woman. You have a baby right now.
Yes, I
You
have
know
two
for a
sons.
fact
Quand je dis ça, c'est en se basant sur leur vision des choses. Parce que moi, je suis pas croyant du tout. It's full bullshit.
That is true. But what if I choose to give my name to my husband?
We know the baby. I'm telling you about how they track it. We know for a fact it came from you. Right now, they track back origins right now from the woman DNA, not the man.
I understand that. However, I am pro-masculine and feminine. I don't believe that women are better.
Of course, 'cause
I
you
think,
woman. That's the connection of both, right? That's the connection of the masculine and the feminine.
Right.
That's the true essence of what we are.
yes, but you said that women are divine and we're perfect.
I said what we are.
I disagree.
I didn't just.
Do you agree that women are divine and perfect?
Yes, ma'am. I
Why do you
disagree.
that, but you think that Jesus is divine and perfect as a man?
I believe Jesus is divine and perfect because he was the Son of God, not because he was a
Do you
man.
know the woman was the
He wasn't the son of God. He was just a human like you.
first existence? The feminine was the first existence.
I disagree.
Okay, well,
Pour moi, c'est juste quelqu'un qui était populaire et convaincant, qui avait assez d'influence. Ils ont pris quelqu'un de très créatif, ils lui ont demandé d'écrire le lore, et puis ils ont inventé la religion comme ça, c'est tout. Parce qu'aujourd'hui, je te trouve 2-3 personnes, pareil, on peut dire, dans 1000 ans, tu dis que c'est Jésus. Et c'est la même chose, hein. Il suffit qu'il soit assez populaire et convaincant, on met quelqu'un d'assez créatif pour faire le lore autour de lui, écrire des livres et des machins. Et dans 1000 ou 2000 ans, les gens, ils font pareil.
oh, you're a woman.
Yes.
You disagree? Did Adam? Did it say in the Bible that Adam didn't have a belly button?
I don't think that's in the Bible.
Did it say it? Did it say it?
It did not say
Okay,
that.
wait. If it didn't say that, then just how you know that Adam came from a woman, because everything came from a woman, got a belly button.
I
And
disagree.
listen, you agree with everything? Everybody that right now that came here can show you one of these.
I understand that.
Everybody can show you one of these.
Please don't shout.
Right?
I understand, however,
Right? Listen, everybody got one of those. So listen. So if Adam had one of those,
yes.
he came from woman. Everything came from you. And
I
you are
disagree.
beautiful.
Well,
Find
thank you.
one thing in his existence right now that we can see that didn't come out of woman. Anything in nature.
Men are here to.
No, name one thing in nature, in history, right now that didn't come out of female. Name one thing here now.
Creation, this table.
No. Name one thing here now that didn't come out of female.
I'm not sure if I'm understanding the
Let
question.
me rephrase it.
Okay.
Name one baby born.
Oh, well, of
That
course.
did, hold up. Name one baby born that didn't come out of a woman.
Of course.
Okay, now name one animal that was born
Of
that didn't come
course.
out of woman.
The
Hold
females-
up. So woman created and brought everything into this existence.
With the man's seed. If I may.
No, women could do it without a man's seed. Listen,
I disagree.
look, Jesus was born without a man's seed. You
The
just say,
Holy
believe it.
Spirit.
Hold up. You say, the Holy Spirit was a man. The Holy Spirit was a man because it entered Mary.
Yes.
Right? Hold up, it entered Mary.
Yes.
Right? The entered means something. Right?
Yes.
I don't think you get it. Right? But you got to understand what you're trying to do. You're trying to take something away from you, but I'm telling you that you are everything. Nothing exists without you.
I think that's the problem that we have now is telling women that they're everything. That's why we're.
No, men ain't doing that. Men are telling women that everything based on attachments, based on they need them. I'm telling you so you can be free. I don't want to be attached to you.
I am
Matter of fact,
free.
when you leave her, I'm never gonna think of you again.
I understand that, and I won't remember you. I don't even know who you are.
No, you do know. You're gonna say you don't know who I am right now. I guarantee you, my voice gonna be stuck with you forever, and I
I doubt
guarantee you,
that.
you invented my voice.
I didn't invent anything.
All right, close your eyes right now. Now I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say, I love you. Right
No,
now,
you don't. You don't even know
I'm
me.
gonna say I love you. Right.
Okay.
Now hear that same thing I just said in your mind.
Of course, I can repeat
Can you hear
back.
it? Can you hear it
Yes,
in my
sir.
voice?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, okay. All right, listen. So, where did my voice come from? It came from you.
No,
Hold up.
You asked-
You just said you heard it in your own head, and everything exists in your head. Everything out here comes from your head.
No,
so everything
you're
exists
wrong.
in you.
You're wrong.
Name one thing I heard that didn't come from your head.
Okay.
Name one thing I heard that wasn't a thought.
Would you like me
Name
to?
one thing that isn't a thought.
Would you like me to
Name
answer?
one thing that's not a thought, and I'll be done.
Okay, this table,
Is it
this
what a thought? Is that
microphone.
what a thought?
It started as a thought.
Okay. So the thought is the cause of it all. Listen, and inside, let me tell you something else.
Okay.
Listen, inside a thought,
Yeah.
that's where you find perfection, right? Because right now,
I disagree.
let me-
People think imperfect things all the
Think
time.
about a circle in your mind. Think of a square in your mind. Think of a triangle in your mind. Think of building a building in your mind. Anything you think in your mind, you can do it perfectly, right?
Well-
Whoa. You can do it perfectly. Perfection exists inside of you, right? And so what I'm trying to tell you is that the moment you put it out here, it becomes a problem. But inside of you, perfection exists, right? And I just want to say that. I just want to say that you're a beautiful woman, and that
Well, thank you for the.
you should understand that.
I think that's interesting that you think I'm too sweet and you don't want to be here.
Used to people who are not as nice and sweet as you.
I think that's
So
a
you kind of
problem.
threw me off. Good.
That is a
That's
good thing.
tactic.
If I may just respond to
Yeah.
what Mr. Unk said, as far as creation, I just want to say, because I believe in the Bible, and again, because it is a choice and because it is faith, God created the first man and the first woman and the first of each species.
I just asked you, if God created the first man, did it have a belly button? If it had a belly button, then God didn't create it, it came out of woman.
Okay, I don't know, and neither do
I
you.
do know.
You saw Adam's belly.
Listen, because that's
Tu peux pas te baser sur la base de l'histoire en disant Adam et Ève et tout, c'est bullshit. Comme il m'a dit l'IA, c'est les premiers humains qui ont eu... Comme j'ai dit tout à l'heure, là, je l'ai fermé l'onglet, putain, j'aurais pas dû. Mais il y a beaucoup de gens, il ferait mieux d'aller poser leurs questions à l'IA et tout, ça va leur répondre bien. Ils ont trop leur idée basée sur des trucs qui ont été réinterprétés 100 fois et répétés et déformés à partir du moment où ça leur arrive aux oreilles. Il y a des trucs, on leur a appris depuis qu'ils sont gamins et ils vont dans cette direction-là depuis toujours. Donc, venir les contredire et tout, ils se sentent attaqués de ouf.
something that they will have to tell you. That'll be something
No, they don't.
They describe what Jesus looked like. They describe everything else. That'll be something that they have
But
to
every
describe.
church that you go to has a
All right,
different representation of Jesus.
Well, science has got another thing happen. Did you know what happened to a baby? Right now, you're a woman, but
I am.
Did you know in about 4 weeks that what's inside your belly is actually a fish?
No, you're
No,
wrong.
the eyes is on the side of the head like this.
Well,
listen to me. The eyes on the side of the head like this. Listen,
I understand what
it's
you're
inside
saying.
water, right?
I understand.
Whoa. It's inside of water, right?
But it's not a fish.
Listen, and everything on earth right now started from a fish, but it was a jawless fish.
I
Listen,
disagree.
it was a jawless fish. Everything started from a jawless fish.
We disagree.
Oh, how can we disagree? Even AI gonna say this shit right because this shit's the fucking truth, right? It's called.
Please don't
it's
swear at me.
science.
No, I understand.
It's science.
I understand in evolution.
But what we're talking about is, okay,
La pause déjeuner, exposé plein sud.
actually, you're a very nice lady.
Thank.
Ça va, on est là. Et je vais taper dans l'IA, là. J'ai un truc que je pense depuis tout à l'heure, mais je n'arrive pas à l'expliquer. C'est un peu ce qu'il a dit déjà, là. Mais je pense qu'avec l'IA, je vais arriver à le formuler.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so-
I teach femininity.
Oh, you teach femininity?
I do.
Why do you have to teach femininity?
Because women have lost it today.
How did they lose it?
Because they're trying to compete with men as men,
So
and we've
you-
lost our
So you
femininity.
think femininity is just talking like this?
Absolutely not. That's not me at all.
No. When you say that women have been fierce, you're African.
I
Do you know
am.
they're fierce African warrior women?
Absolutely, but they're
So-
still
so-
feminine.
How are they feminine when they were slicing people's heads off, ripping them apart?
You know what?
You're saying you teach femininity.
I
I'm gonna
do.
gamble and say that you teach them not to do those things.
Well, people do what they have to do in the time that they live to survive. There was a time when we had to grow our own crops and slaughter our animals. We don't do that
So they don't
anymore.
have to survive today.
I didn't say that. What I said that.
You
What we,
said women lost it today.
I said women lost their femininity. Please don't speak for me.
Well, no, you said women lost their femininity today, and I said you're from Africa.
I
women
am.
are warriors.
Women
You said
were-
they had to do it back then.
Not
but
only-
today you said they don't have to do it now. They don't have to survive. Women.
What I said is we all did what we had to survive in the time
And they
that we
don't
were
do that
living.
today?
If I may
Women do-
finish.
No, you can finish. I'm asking you. Do they do it today?
Yes.
So you teach femininity.
I
Do you
do.
teach women that they should be sweet and kind or be warriors?
I teach women that they shouldn't be men.
Wait a minute. Do you teach them to be sweet and kind or do you teach them to be warriors?
If you want to
If
be,
a woman fights a man,
I wasn't
no,
finished.
I'm gonna ask you. I gotta
Okay.
because
You've asked me
I can't
multiple-
let this niceness throw me off.
yeah,
When a
I'm
woman is
struggling
when
that
a
you're
woman is
bothered by
fighting,
it.
because you said you teach femininity.
I
When
do.
a woman is fighting,
Women
do you
shouldn't
say
fight.
that's manly or
It
do you
is.
say it's feminine?
It's
So,
very
If
masculine.
it's manly,
It
they
is.
are warriors
Yes.
today, and they don't have to survive today, but in the past when they were warriors, it's okay.
Okay, if I may answer you,
Sure.
again, we all do what we have to do to survive. There was a time when we had to grow our own crops and slaughter our own animals. I don't know if you're a mother, I'll speak for myself.
I'm
I have
talking
two
about
boys.
warriors, not farmers, not husbandry.
If
I'm
I
talking
may-
about warriors.
If I may answer.
Sure, answer, please, I'm waiting.
I consider myself a very kind and nonviolent person. However, cross me about my boys, it'll be a very different story.
What
So
will you
if you're
do?
in
What will you do? Will you
whatever
still be
I have
feminine?
to, not in that
So
moment.
it's masculine to fight.
Absolutely.
Oh, so women can't fight. but
I
they're
never
manly.
said that. I never said that.
You did.
There
You said
were
it's
women.
masculine to fight.
It is masculine to
So
fight.
women can't fight or they're manly.
You can be a woman and have masculine moments. I'll give you an example.
Mhm.
I'm a boy mom. There are times that I have to say, hey, get over
So you're
here.
manly.
In that moment, yes. But
So
when
why
I'm
are you
with,
teaching femininity if you're manly?
because my man
So
will
you
not.
can be manly when you need to,
And
but the
so
women who are
can you.
manly, they
And-
can't.
No, absolutely. What I'm saying is the women who come to me want to be in a relationship with a masculine man. A masculine man requires a feminine woman, full stop.
Mhm.
All right? So if you want to be with a masculine man, oftentimes women today do not realize how masculine they have become. I'll give you another real world example. I'm a former executive. When you have to lead people and manage budgets and do all these things with millions, you take on that masculine energy and you don't know sometimes how to turn it off and be nice and sweet when you're in a nurturing mode, when you're with your husband.
Who's the
when-
governor of that? Who decides? You? Because you're a femininity coach. So you decide that when women are ready to be manly, they can be manly. You're calling it man. You call it manly to be assertive. You call it manly.
It is.
See. So you can decide because you're
For me.
But you're. There are so many women. There's
And not
millions
every,
of people.
and not everybody is my
So how
student.
do you get to be an authority on who's feminine and who's not?
I'm not the authority
You
for
just said you're a
everyone.
femininity coach.
I am. When women
So
come
you're
to
not an
me,
authority. So I
because
shouldn't listen to you.
no, you shouldn't.
Okay,
Because they
no one
want
should-
what I
No one
have.
should listen to you.
No.
Thank you, she said it.
No.
One should. So
I
you're not-
said
So you don't know
you-
anything about femininity, because femininity isn't being nice and sweet. And guess what? Femininity is about fighting, because.
I disagree.
Because guess what? Females, lions, fight to the death while the male sits back. Women and mothers, like you said, fight for their children. You said it's manly to fight.
It
So you are
is.
not, which one is it?
Nobody is feminine 100% of the time. And if a man,
Exactly.
if a man loses a family member and he is heartbroken and crying, that is not a masculine moment. That is
I think we need to redefine we need to redefine that crying is not being masculine. We need to redefine that being fighting isn't not being feminine. That's the problem. It's
You
just,
can
it's a
de-
social thing.
You can define it however you want to. All I'm saying is there is a natural biology.
So is it
Wow, you
wrong?
really-
No,
interrupting
is it wrong for your sons to cry if
Absolutely
their
not.
turtle dies?
Absolutely
And
not.
is it wrong if your son gets hit by another person and he cries and they say you're a sissy?
That's
By
absolutely
your
wrong.
standards, he's being feminine crying.
If
right?
he's a boy, that's expected. If he's a man, absolutely not. He'll
So if a
defend.
man gets punched in the face and
He's gonna
hurts him,
punch
he
you
cries.
back.
So wait, men can't cry?
I never said that.
Yes, you
Are you
just did.
listening?
You
No.
just said it.
I said we are not masculine 100% of the time,
Yeah.
and we are not feminine
And
100% of the
who's gonna
time.
govern that?
Whatever outcome the woman wants, the women that come to me, because you said I shouldn't be the authority. I am not the authority. I am just a mom on the internet.
Right.
But women come to me because they want what I have. They see something in me that they do not see in somebody like you.
Oh,
And they
really?
say, you know what, Maggie, I would love to have a relationship like yours. I would love to be able to communicate like you. I would like to be able to keep my composure like you. I would love to be able to have respective men that do not know me. How can I do that? I see.
Give them everything you got then. It's the only way you can do it. Because no matter what you do, hold up, you just said they come to you and they say they love everything that you got. So if you want to help them, give them everything that you got.
I do.
Hold up. No, give them everything. You should have nothing left for yourself.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, if you gave them everything, if they like everything that you like, if I like your shirt and you
Yes.
give me your shirt, you
Yeah.
have no other shirt.
Right.
Right? If you gave your shirt right now, you'd be shirtless.
That is true.
So that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is that you are fighting for things, and listen, I'll sit up and talk. You're beautiful. I love you. I love everything you say. I'm gonna say this. I cry all the time. I cry before I started this.
You're masculine
Right?
feminist.
But I'm masculine and femininity. They exist together.
Yes, it's called polarity.
It's
We
both,
do agree.
right?
Yes.
It's both. But I don't want a woman. Like a lot of men want a submissive woman. I don't want a submissive woman. I don't
'Cause
like,
you're not a
I don't
masculine
wanna
man.
Oh, listen. Let me say this. Let me say this. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. I'm something that you probably don't understand, right? A masculine man is going to tell you what to do. They're going to attach you. They're going to try to hold you down. Listen to me. Hold up. Listen to me. I exist in both. I'm both masculine and feminine, right? Because I understand the duality of both. I understand that my mind have a left and a right side. I activate them both, right?
Okay.
So I'm gonna say this. I'm not here to tell you what you should do, right? I'm not going to define what's masculine in you and what is not. But I don't want a submissive woman, because once you tell a woman to submit to you, that's me telling a woman that I'm above her. I'm not above no woman. Hold up. If that's the case, when a child come out, then the mother should automatically submit to the child if the child is a male. Hold up, because you're suggesting that I are...
C'est exactement les mêmes sujets que je disais la dernière fois. Il dit exactement ce que je disais.
am above you, right? That
My
you
man is.
hold up. Listen, I'm gonna say this. You're in prison. And listen, I'm gonna say this. And
I'm
your
happy.
Man, listen to me. You're in prison.
I'm
your
not.
man is fine what you do, and that's a life that you shouldn't want to live.
You're
right?
wrong.
Because you have been programmed to believe that submitting is something that you want to do, but in
I
reality, in your
disagree
mind,
with
listen to
you.
something. Right now, I know what you're doing right now. You're wearing what they call a mask. Right now, you're doing this. This is
Then
with
who's-
you.
then
Hold on,
who's the real me?
I can just ask your husband. He'll tell you when you're mad. Yeah. That's what you do, and that's who the fuck you is. And you want to sit here and act like that's not who the fuck you is. Shut the fuck up talking when I'm talking. Don't you fucking talk again. Why the fuck are you talking?
No.
Why are you talking?
Because
Shut
I
the
can't.
fuck up.
Are you going to be disrespectful? I was respectful to you.
There you go. It's not about respect. It's the fact that you
But did I answer
you're still
you?
holding in. No, you're still holding in. I disrespect
Because
you.
it's called
You should stand
composure.
up for yourself. No.
No.
Il a craqué.
You should stand up for yourself. No, you're bottling it in. When you leave, you know what you're gonna say? That motherfucker in there yelling at me. He's doing all this shit.
I
You're
don't
gonna
have to say. I don't have to say it because you made
a great point.
you made
You're not being yourself.
you don't know me.
No,
You don't know me at all.
You're a human being. And I know that the way you're reacting to someone doing that is not natural.
It's called composure.
No, it's called you're being, ma'am.
Who is shaking? Oh, she's shaking?
You.
I'm sorry that.
Like this. You're angry in a minute.
I am not angry because I don't respect
There's nothing
you.
wrong with being angry.
I don't respect
No,
you.
no, you respect it. You can't get respect. Listen,
You can shout at me, but I don't
never
even
shouted.
know you. You shouted at me and you slammed the
Listen,
table.
You disrespect me since you've been here. You say I was
How did I
masculine. You said
oh
was
yeah, I said you're not a
You said you
masculine
don't
man.
respect me.
Yeah,
Listen, hold on.
that's
Everything
true.
that you said was disrespect. But you,
Yeah.
listen, everything I said to you was polite, was giving you
You did.
nothing but love, right? But the moment I said something you didn't like, you're gonna say it's disrespect. But you never acknowledged when I said something good to you.
But you said you
never
loved-
acknowledged it.
No.
Hold up, stop. Let
I
me
said
speak. Hold up. You never acknowledged when I said something good to you. But the moment I say something you don't like, you acknowledge that. But that's how people is in the
I
world.
did
They
thank you.
acknowledge what's bad. They never acknowledge what they figure is good.
Okay, may I
Right?
speak?
Why should I allow you to speak when you won't even accept my kindness?
I did. When you gave me the compliment, I said thank you. But you told me you loved me, and I said you don't even know
Define
me.
love. Define love. Love is both. Listen, I'm saying this. You don't think you know love. I don't know. I know you don't know love because love is both.
I am so
listen,
loved.
If you were so loved, then everybody you love, you never was mad at.
That's not true.
So love exists.
Mad is an emotion.
So love exists, and all the emotions exist inside love.
I
So you
would
can't
disagree
determine
with
whether I
you.
love you or not.
I would
You
disagree.
can't determine that.
If I may speak, I think when you love somebody, you're actually madder at them than someone you don't love. Take your children, right? If your children disobey you, if you see a kid acting out in the store, falling out, you're like, well, there they go. But if you see your kid misbehaving, you're even angrier because you want a better outcome for them.
That's your
Because
decide. If I see my kid fall, I'm not gonna think that. You're trying to make
Okay,
me
that's
in your
fair.
reality. This is what I'm saying. Love is unconditional. It no matter what you do to me.
I
hold up,
disagree.
no matter what you do to me, no matter what I do to you, love will be there, right?
Yeah.
That's true love.
Yeah.
That's true love,
Yeah.
right? Fake love become determined by you do this, I give you love. You do this, I give you this, right? That's fake. Real love exists inside of everything if it's real love.
I agree, but I do think it has to be earned, and I think it has to be
I ain't
maintained.
earning no love from nobody.
That's fine.
Because like if you gotta earn it, you gonna have to continue earning
Does
it.
a newborn have to earn love when it comes out of your womb?
For children, it's different.
So
However,
you see how you have different, oops.
no, but well,
You
thank
have
you. I
different-
appreciate the compliment. I was just going to say this.
Why
I
is it
focus on
different?
okay.
Why is
I
it
focus on relationships, children aside, right? Because they come how they come, right? That's just again my faith, the purity of a baby being born. Let's talk about relationships because that's something that I'm passionate about. I can love my man, but if he doesn't continue to do the things that make me love him, that love is going to fade. We have to. That's why it's called keeping the home fires burning. I think as women, that is our responsibility. That's part of our nurturing. A relationship is not just going to be beautiful and bright just because I told you one time that I love you. If I'm not doing those loving things, you're going to feel slighted from me. And over time, that love will fade. How many times have we heard people say we fell out of love or it's just not there anymore because we didn't put the work in to maintain it?
They never loved you in the first place. Because you said, listen,
I
love,
disagree.
listen, if you let me say this.
Okay.
Right? If you love somebody,
Yes.
love never leaves.
That's
the
true.
The moment it leaves, it never was love. So I'm gonna say this, right?
Okay.
People confuse love with attachments, meaning that if you sit here, if you do everything I tell you to do, then I can give you my love. But the moment you leave, that love disappears. The moment you disobey me, that love disappears. So that I believe is not love. The true love that you said
Yes.
that we both agree on,
Yes.
all of us, that when the baby came in,
Yes.
they got that love.
That's
so
true.
I say that when you love somebody, it should be that love.
Well,
and if
even-
it's not that love, then it's not love at all.
That's fair. I agree with you. And even the Bible that neither of you agree with has different.
I never said I agree with the Bible.
Okay, my mistake then.
I agree.
I believe it's Greek, and I'm not a Bible scholar, but I believe it's Greek that has different words for different types of love, right? Right. So,
There's agape love.
right,
And then we have philo love.
right,
And
brotherly.
So this is the thing I'm trying to understand with you.
Okay,
Are you do femininity coaching?
yes,
You say, well, if my husband keeps on doing everything fine, that's great. But if he stops loving me, do you stop submitting? Or what do? You just go and start
I think submission.
internalizing everything?
I think submission is a choice. What I'm saying is that when you love someone, when you're in a relationship, you have to nurture that. Take any relationship. We'll put love relationships to the side. You can't be a good employee and not show up. You can't be a good mother, sister, friend. You have to continue to do the things that bring that relationship closer. So yes, if your husband stops doing the things, if your wife stops sleeping with
I
you.
want to go back to the mother thing.
I ain't slept with her. She watching this. I haven't slept with her in about 13 months. To this day. She's still there, will not leave. This is true.
I believe you.
Oh, I know, that's true.
This is true. This is true.
I believe you.
I'm saying this was a choice that I made.
I understand.
The choice that I made don't say I don't love someone because I don't want to stick my dick in it.
Can you speak to me without swearing?
It's the thing, right? I could speak to you without swearing if you could speak to me as you.
I don't know what you mean by that.
You, before you decided to become a femininity coach and decided that you knew everything about
when
femininity.
I never said I know everything.
Speak to
I
me
took
like
my
that.
own
Well, speak to me
courses.
like you was before you started speaking like that. And
Well,
I
that
speak
cost
no
me
profanity.
my marriage. Here's the
That
thing.
didn't cost your marriage. Your husband you because he didn't see who you was. Listen, I'm telling you, if you lost, you never lost shit, right? Because you are whole. I'm sorry, I don't want to cuss. You say don't cuss in front of you, but I'm gonna say this. You are beautiful. You never lost nothing. Nothing never cost you nothing.
But how do you know if you weren't
because
there?
You are beautiful. Listen, because everything. Listen, I'm gonna say this. Anything that comes from you is beautiful. Yes, you probably made mistakes. Everything makes mistakes. But if somebody
No,
loves you,
I'm
they're
a
gonna love you
sinner.
through
I'm
it.
a hopeless sinner.
No, you're not. You're
Okay.
not. Sinner is a sine wave. You were born in a wave of energy, right? The words have been changed and things are different.
I have made mistakes.
Oh,
I
man,
have,
you submitting to a God, you submitting to a man, you living your life submitting.
and I am so happy
Stand up.
because men are leaders. Yes, yes.
When you sat down, you said, why are we in a prison if we didn't do any crime? But
Right.
you admit to being a sinner.
Right.
And sin is a crime. So that's why you're in a prison planet.
Well-
If you want to go by that.
Okay.
Being in a prison planet isn't just about sin, though.
Toi, tu payes bien Netflix, non? Ouais. Combien tu payes?
C'est exactement le truc que je parlais, la notion de soumission entre un homme et une femme. J'ai toujours trouvé ça. J'ai toujours dit c'est un truc de mongol et tout. J'aime pas ce truc-là, tu vois. Et bref, là, j'ai rien pour développer encore, mais c'est les sujets qui parlent là. Mais même ça, j'en ai déjà parlé dans un live.
There's nothing inside of, he said there's nothing inside of that body.
Oh, my doctor would beg to disagree, but okay.
I mean, there's, if you're not a Bible scholar, I'm usually, wanting to talk to people who know a little bit more about the language and the actual Bible.
But how is that helping you? Debating?
Oh, it helps a lot because I uncover the esoteric of the Bible. People have been taught that Jesus is a serpent, that the serpent's evil. When you tell people, no, the serpent is evil, you start breaking.
I never said
you start
that. Oh,
breaking-
you're talking about
You
yourself.
start breaking programs.
Okay.
The programs that tell you that you have to keep sitting here and talking like this when
Would you
people scream
believe-
at you. Because the Bible tells you, you're supposed to submit, you're weaker, you're lower, you do what men say. So if you knew that there were certain things in the Bible that programmed your mind to not be natural.
Moi, je pense que c'est un raccourci dans la réflexion qui est fait. Et c'est pour ça, la plupart des meufs, elles comprennent le truc comme ça et c'est normal et tout, alors que non. Putain, j'ai eu la pensée là, mais elle est partie, j'arrive pas à l'expliquer bien. Attends, on va écouter encore.
Naturally yourself,
I
it
would-
would help you. So me showing people that Jesus is the serpent in the garden of Genesis 3 helps people say, oh, I'm breaking the, just like in the Matrix. Once you saw that one thing, Neo started breaking the program. So
I
that's
disagree
the-
with you. What would
Well,
actually
you
be
keep
helpful?
saying you disagree with me.
Well, what would be
Give me
helpful?
give me a reason why you disagree. Wait, why
I
do
love
you
watching
disagree?
this.
Why do you disagree?
What would be helpful is if you didn't mock me. All
How
right.
am I mocking you?
When
You're
you
very
try-
passive aggressive.
No, I'm being
Yeah, you are.
honest with you.
No,
Okay,
you
you can believe whatever you want
I
to.
don't know how I ever mocked you.
I-
Go ahead.
when you-
I'm trying to be super nice with you
What-
because you seem very sweet.
I
but
am. Here's the
don't know how-
thing. I think you're projecting because
Now I'm projecting.
yeah. If I may finish.
Sure.
When this man yelled at me and I did not react in kind, you could not believe that because you could not see yourself being shouted at and maintaining your composure.
Right.
So when you look at me
So now
doing
you're-
that,
Now you're projecting.
okay, you are telling me that I'm not my true self because I'm feminine and because I'm sweet. Would you believe that I'm happier this way?
No,
When I was
I
a
don't
boss
think you're being
babe,
feminine. I don't. I know femininity. You're not being feminine.
I would ask
you're
the
being
masculine-
You're being a robot.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And you're pretending. You're a pretender.
Okay.
Because you've been taught femininity is talking like this
You're
and wearing
wrong.
pearls.
You're
and
wrong.
saying, I am not going to do that.
You're wrong.
That's not feminine. Feminine is you
Femininity
had
is supporting-
Let me get this out.
okay,
You've had a child.
Yes.
2 children.
yes,
That's one of the most painful experiences in life.
and beautiful.
Actually, we just can't, here, we're together.
Okay?
It's beautiful, but guess what? It's fierce. It's violence. It's
Yes,
pain.
yes.
There's blood.
And it's in the
But you
Bible.
would say, that's not feminine.
I never said
Oh,
that.
I'm just gonna lay here and have this
Didn't I
baby.
just say
I'm
that?
having a contraction. I'm fine, doctor.
I don't remember you
That's
being
what you're
there.
being. You're not feminine. But you said we need to focus on what is feminine. Feminine is the beginning. It's the fierceness. It's the darkness. Hold on.
I think you're
Can I
talking
get
about
this
being a
out?
feminist.
It's
Okay.
the darkness.
Only if
Can
I may respond.
You will.
Okay.
It's the darkness in the water. Life, it's not just the womb. We can look at the microcosm of the womb, the waters in the womb. And I know you're confused. That's why you're looking around. Listen to me, though. I'm here with you. I love you, or do, because I want you to know the womb is the darkness in the water. Life began in the darkness of the water. Your Bible says life began in darkness. That's the water. That's not sitting here and going, it's scary.
Please don't mock
Wait,
me.
No, I have to. It's scary.
No, you don't. You
It's
can make your
unknown.
point without
It's a
disrespecting.
scary, volatile, chaotic.
Why?
Elle fait trop la meuf susceptible. Faut bien qu'elle lui donne l'exemple quand elle parle. Le débat, il est... Je veux dire, il peut y avoir un débat sans forcément bousculer les gens et tout, sans être offensant ou quoi, mais au bout d'un moment, si tu l'écoutes comme elle est, tu peux rien dire en fait. Il n'y a pas de débat en fait. Il n'y a pas de discussion réelle. C'est exactement comme elles sont les femmes entre elles. Genre, elles se contredisent pas, elles font semblant de s'entendre et d'être d'accord ou quoi. Tu vois, vous voyez ce que je veux dire?
Why are you so scared?
No, I'm trying to tell you what's feminine. Oh, feminine is that.
Okay.
That is the core of femininity.
I
Femininity
disagree.
isn't, I'm just gonna mute out. No, femininity is roaring, that roaring that he did.
I
That's
disagree.
his feminine side that
No,
he
that's an emotional man
No,
having
but
an
you're not
outburst.
hearing me, my friend. The part that you're hearing when a woman is giving birth, she's yelling. She's
Absolutely, I was there.
So you equate that with masculine.
No, that's not what I said at
So
all.
yelling is masculine?
Okay, I'll wait when you're finished.
Yes, I need you not to just listen to.
That real voice though, I heard it. That real voice just came. When you said, hold up, the real voice came. Please do it again. Your real voice just came out and we all heard it.
I'm waiting to
No,
respond.
I've been waiting for that voice for a long time, and I finally heard you. I love you, and y'all never cuss again.
Thank you.
I heard you. I've been here trying to figure out who you was, and I heard that voice.
Okay.
Only for a quick. There I go again.
Okay, but here's the
Ils ont réussi quand même.
thing. I said in the very beginning, there are times
Give
when
me that voice again, please. It's okay.
I'm sorry, I missed it. But what I'm saying.
Because you've been, listen, you missed it because you have bottled you up.
No.
Right? Listen, you bottled you up. That voice that just came outside of you, that's you. Could you
How about
please
this?
let me hear it,
Have you ever
please?
gotten feedback that someone didn't like something and you wanted to be better for that someone, and so you improved
You
yourself?
can't prove that's what I'm saying. Let me say something.
Okay.
You can't prove yourself. When you came in this world, you was perfect.
I
right?
disagree.
Listen, because you came in this world, you're gonna die the same way you came. Listen, nameless. No one's gonna remember you.
I
It's not-
disagree.
listen,
I have a legacy. What's yours?
I'm gonna tell you this. All right, you don't have a legacy.
You don't know that.
I'm gonna tell you how I know.
I never said that. I said, what is
Let me
yours?
tell you, I can tell you, right?
Okay.
Because right now in this history, everybody watching this, they're gonna say who their grandma is. They're gonna say their great grandma is. They can't say who their great grandma is. They forget. People can't even tell you. We argue a lot about Jesus. There's only a few people that we remember. No one's gonna remember you. The only
The
thing that
internet
matters
is forever.
now.
I disagree.
Listen, no one's gonna.
Exactement, c'est ce que j'ai dit. À moins d'être un mec comme Elon Musk ou d'avoir été peut-être un président ou quelque chose comme ça, une personnalité importante ou une grosse célébrité dans la musique ou dans les films ou quoi, dans 50, 100 ans, ils t'ont oublié. Même des grosses célébrités de l'époque, on les connaît pas forcément. Pourtant, ils étaient là et c'était des grandes personnalités, tu vois. Et pourtant, on les connaît pas parce que ça date d'il y a 100 ans. Rien qu'il y a 100 ans. Peut-être on va se rappeler des grands noms, je sais pas, comme exemple. J'ai pas d'exemple là, mais on s'est compris dans ce que je veux dire. C'est-à-dire des gens normaux comme nous qui font leur travail, leur petite vie normale, personne ne se rappellera de nous.
Remember you. The only thing that matters is
Maybe
now.
you don't want anybody to
No,
remember
I
you.
do. I want everybody to remember you. Listen, I want everybody.
J'ai tellement le même point de vue que lui, c'est incroyable. Et c'est pas la vidéo, c'est la première fois que je la regarde. Mais j'ai déjà ces trucs-là, je les ai déjà dit.
Remember you. You're attached to something. You're attached to doing something that's not going to work. When you get to the.
I think it is working.
How's it going to work when no one's going to remember you?
No,
the
I
man that
disagree with you.
If you die right now, he's going to go get some more pussy.
I thought you said you weren't going to swear
I said
at
if
me.
you die, if you die, pussy's not a square word.
Yeah, but do you have any
Pussy's
other?
not a square word.
A square
Vagina.
word? Do you have any other use of the English language?
Sex.
Yes.
Right.
Of
Listen,
course,
so
he's
you
a
listen,
masculine man.
No,
He's gonna get
a
more
masculine.
sex.
No, a masculine man don't run around just getting sex. That's a
But you
freak
said if
man.
I die.
No, it don't matter. It don't matter because I'm gonna say this.
Yes.
I'm gonna say this to you. And I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm just gonna say this.
I'm not arguing.
I'm gonna say this. Whatever happened in your first relationship, right? To where he told you, right, you talk too much, or you talk too much, or you talk back, and he made you think that you wasn't acting the way a woman should act. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you that wasn't a man. Because listen, a man can accept a person's opinion, a person's mind. True. A man can sit down and have a conversation with a woman.
You're absolutely right. We've been doing that here, and I believe that I've been very effective communicating without shouting, without swearing. I did want to take a moment because you told me I wasn't feminine, and there's a lot of men in the room.
You are feminine. You're too feminine.
Là, elle comprend pas ce qu'il lui dit. Elle mélange une interaction avec entre un homme et une femme et une relation d'être en couple et c'est ce qu'il lui dit lui. Mais elle mélange les trucs comme ça.
sense. I didn't know you were this femininity.
You too feminine. You too feminine.
Because you're not masculine.
No, you too feminine because listen, because half the men, the men out here right now.
I was gonna ask, okay,
The
I
men-
don't know the men
out
in the
here not-
room.
No. I'm saying the men that you're looking at in the world, the men in the world, they're not masculine. Because
Okay.
listen, they run around and they doing things. Everybody is both mixed. What I'm saying is that you're
Yes,
beautiful.
we agree with that. Thank you for the
Final
compliment.
point.
Final point. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you both.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I appreciate having the debate.
But Jesus is the serpent in the Garden of Genesis 3.
You can believe whatever you
It's
want
not a
to.
belief, it's
Well,
actually a
he
fact.
asked me to make my final
I'm
point.
sorry, sweetheart.
Okay, thank you.
I just
So
wanted to stay in character for you, the feminist, masculine lady.
you're doing a perfect job.
I know,
Okay.
I knew you thought that.
Yes,
So-
absolutely.
Je sais même pas pourquoi ils l'ont fait venir à elle parce que dès qu'elle lui dit un truc, elle veut pas. Elle ferme la conversation direct. Elle veut pas comprendre que les autres ils ont des points de vue, des avis et tout. Assure.
Absolutely. Okay, so my final thought is faith is something that we choose. We don't have all of the answers. Even the Bible says, I set before you life and death, choose. Whatever you want to choose, that's fine. I'm not here to convince you. I believe in a masculine.
La perception elle est différente pour tout le monde et tout. Mais elle veut pas l'entendre et tout. Elle est bouffée du cerveau.
The man, a feminine woman, marriage, children, and family. I think that's the only thing that's going to keep this planet going. If you choose to believe it's a prison planet, that's fine. I see the beauty in every day, and I'm grateful for an opportunity to live and enjoy it.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks for watching to the end, guys. Please comment below your thoughts on the episode. If you agree, if you disagree, I'd love to hear it. I read every single comment. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much.
So, Jesus is the serpent in the Garden of Genesis 3.
Okay, and where are you basing that off of?
The Elohim said that they should not eat the fruit
Yes,
or they will die.
yes.
That was a lie. God can't lie. The serpent is the only one who led them to the truth. If you look at Christ, he leads us to the truth.
Is Adam and Eve still alive now?
Yeah, you're part of Adam and Eve.
No,
Your
but they
views
died,
are
right? Adam and Eve did die.
They,
They were going to
They-
have eternal life on earth until
Yes.
they ate that apple.
in the text, though, we're talking about the Bible
In the
now,
text, yep.
not our feelings.
They said
We
you will
got all
surely
that
die.
out. We did feelings. Now we're gonna do
Correct.
the Bible and we're gonna do text, right?
Yeah, go
Thank you.
ahead. I'm listening to your
okay.
reference.
In the Bible, the text, the Hebrew text says, when you eat it, you will die.
You will surely
You
die.
will you will surely die. Not, hey, in about 900 years, you guys are gonna be toast. They're dying right. They say you're gonna die right after you eat it.
That is the interpretation that you're going with in saying that they're going to die immediately. It did not say immediately. They were going to live and there was not going to be anything that was going to cause death to them. It's something that broke down their genetic build that they were already blessed with. So
Okay.
when you're saying that, it's not a lie.
Je regarde une vidéo sur YouTube, ça s'appelle 607 Unk vs 10 Christians.
And the serpent wasn't the one that told them that. The serpent told them, God doesn't want you to eat it because you're going to unlock extra knowledge. They did unlock that extra knowledge.
Wait. The serpent said, God doesn't want you to eat it because when you eat it, you will also be gods. It doesn't say unlock certain knowledge. It says you will also.
says the knowledge
because
of good and evil.
And you will, they don't, but it says they don't want you to eat it because you will also be gods. That's what the text says.
No, the text says that you will know and understand the knowledge of good and evil. It didn't say that you will be gods.
Listen, you gotta hear what I'm saying.
Okay, I'm listening.
It says, you will unlock the knowledge of good and evil and
Les plus extrémistes dans leur pensée, là, comme ça, on dirait des gens radicalisés, c'est les croyants comme eux, qu'on leur a bourré le crâne avec ces conneries depuis leur enfance. Et tu peux pas parler avec eux, même avec les arguments, les relevés scientifiques, avec ce que tu veux. Pour eux, c'est pas ça. C'est ce qui est écrit dans le livre, c'est tout. Et vas-y, frère.
become gods. You left that part out.
Understood. So here,
So, yeah, they didn't want them to become gods. That's the reason.
are you familiar with the first sin being sex?
No, what?
When
you mean
Adam
in
and Eve,
In the text?
when that apple wasn't literal, it was the forbidden fruit.
Okay, now we're
The
gonna go
forbidden
to
fruit-
some
The
Gnosticism.
forbidden fruit was sex. That
Wait, that's Gnosticism. So wait.
no,
hold
that's
on.
not Gnosticism.
Let me
Go
tell you
ahead.
why you're wrong according to the Bible.
I'm listening.
Because it says, please have sex and proliferate. Please have sex and multiply. So you're wrong about that.
They
God-
weren't
if-
multiplying
if
then
sex
yet.
was a sin,
They weren't multiplying
hold
by
on.
sex. They were still multiplying. But look at how Eve was born. She was born from the rib. They didn't have to be born through sex, and they didn't have to be born through that painful experience. That's what their punishment was when they were cast out the Garden of Eden.
Okay, in Genesis chapter 1, before the rib deal,
Yeah.
and the lady who's here, she would love that, because women, everybody knows women come out of men's ribs, right? But I digress.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The chapter 1 says, hey, you guys, I made you male and female. Now get this place full of people. That would mean that they're reproducing, not because of a rib coming out of some guy's side, and then there's a lady.
So
It
who
said-
were the children documented before they left the Garden of Eden?
Who are the children? What do you mean?
What children did they have? If they were reproducing, who did they give birth to
In Genesis chapter 1.
before they were cast out of the Garden of Eden?
In Genesis chapter 1, it says multiply.
Right.
It's a commandment by the Elohim, the creators. What do you mean, who's the children?
So they didn't
It's under-
multiply yet.
What? Yes, they
So,
did.
so who were their
You
children?
do
then?
know there were more than one. If
I
you're-
know there's more than
Yeah,
you're saying Cain and
okay, so
Abel.
you
I
agree.
understand that,
You
but
agree.
Cain and Abel came after their
and
knowledge
they
of good
went
and
to
evil.
the land of
Tho-
Nod, and there were people there.
Yes,
So
those are the
so
people
you
of
agree
clay.
with me that there was more than two people.
But those were the people of clay. Those weren't the people that had the breath of God inside
The
of them.
people of Cain, you mean?
The people of clay.
Oh, you're talking about mud.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting really far off here.
No, because that's what was
Jesus-
just. Go ahead.
The people of clay, which is Christ, right? Christ is a man, flesh and blood, correct?
Yes, he's flesh and blood.
So Christ is evil?
No, not evil at all. You're
Christ
implying that
doesn't have a soul?
I didn't say that he
You
doesn't have
just
a
said the
soul.
people of, am I hearing that, didn't you say they don't have souls if they're clay?
I didn't say they didn't have souls
What
if
did
they
you
were clay.
say?
I said the people of clay. They were different. They didn't have the breath of God. Is
They
what
didn't
I
have
said.
souls.
I said they didn't have the breath of God inside
Okay,
of
does
them.
Christ have the breath of God?
Absolutely.
Was he clay?
No,
Oh, so Christ wasn't made out of flesh and blood material?
he is made of flesh and blood, but the difference that you're missing is the sentience, that consciousness.
Hold on.
While we're
you're
talking
jumping
about,
wait,
I'm
I
not
wanna hold
jumping
you on
up.
that point.
I'm telling you,
said
explaining the
people
breath of
clay.
God.
You said the people of clay.
Yes, they did not have
Clay
that
means, clay
sentience.
just means flesh and blood material. Matter is.
Of course.
When we're talking about clay, we're talking about material. So
Right.
if we can
So
get
this
back
is
to.
so I can tell you those people of clay, if you're looking for a reference on that, those are the Neanderthals. These are the
Oh,
people
boy,
that
you
didn't have.
You are everywhere.
I'm telling
Now
you,
that
these are the people that didn't have that consciousness. They didn't have that.
Je prétends pas venir avec la vérité ou savoir la vérité et donner l'explication, parce que je l'ai pas. Mais en tout cas, une chose est sûre, c'est que la vérité, c'est pas la religion.
Sentience that you and I have, the way that we're aware of life and death. When we're talking about that breath of life, that's what Adam had inside of him. That sentience, that connection to God that you still share. This is the evidence of God's existence throughout all of us. It's been since then. And Eve had that same existence, and they were going to procreate and have more children without it being a painful birth. When she decided to be deceptive and participate in the forbidden fruit and consuming the
The fruit
forbidden
wasn't forbidden.
it was.
I mean,
it was told to them
it
they
was
weren't
forbidden.
supposed to.
The
Go
fruit
ahead.
wasn't evil. You need to listen to.
Comment ça peut avoir du sens quand la religion, ça a été créé il y a 2000 ans, 2026 ans, ou ouais, je crois que c'est ça. Alors que la planète, elle existe depuis des millions d'années, des milliards d'années, qu'il y a eu les dinosaures, les hommes préhistoriques et tout ce qui va avec. Et que selon leur point de vue, Dieu aurait inventé la planète, le monde, les différentes galaxies, l'espace, tout. Alors que tout ça, c'est là depuis des milliards d'années. Mais la religion, elle existe que depuis 2000 ans et tout ça, ça s'est passé il y a 2000 ans, genre. L'incohérence, elle est de partout, en fait. C'est facile à comprendre. It's bullshit.
I didn't
What
say
the
evil, I said forbidden.
It was forbidden because the Elohims at the end of chapter 2, at the end of chapter 3, the Elohim, which wasn't God, it was a council of God, say, now they're going to be gods like us. That's why they didn't want them to eat the fruit, not because it was evil.
And so
or
what
wrong.
knowledge did they obtain that made them gods like them?
They understood they understood everything. They understood all what you say, forbidden knowledge.
Well, what is the forbidden
All
knowledge?
the deep knowledge that you see in Enoch that's forbidden with all the so-called fallen angels.
But
how to make
how would they
weapons,
know
how
that
to
if
do
that
makeup.
happened after Adam and
Pour moi, les livres religieux, c'est MK Ultra avant MK Ultra. C'est la manipulation de l'époque. De la même façon qu'aujourd'hui, je crée un site à la con en 10 minutes, je fais plein d'articles et plein de trucs dessus. Et en gros, les livres et les écrits et tout ça de l'époque, c'était une forme de média, de désinformation et de tout ce qu'on a aujourd'hui de version moderne. Les réseaux sociaux, la désinformation. Et ils ont tiré le truc sur 2000 ans. C'est le même équivalent en fait. Aujourd'hui, je fais un site, hop, des mecs qui font des podcasts, ils réagissent en prenant des infos sur mon site. Moi, j'y vais, mon site c'est 100% bullshit. J'ai écrit que des conneries basées sur rien et juste pour troller. Et eux, ils s'en servent comme... tu vois, c'est le même truc. Et pour moi, c'est la même chose qu'ils ont fait avec les religions et tout. Et comme j'ai dit, c'était MK Ultra avant MK Ultra. Le but, c'était la manipulation. Le but, c'était de... c'est quoi le mot exact? Attends, le but, c'était de lisser les différences chez les gens pour que tout le monde soit formaté de la même façon, tout le monde soit conditionné de la même façon. Et je l'ai déjà dit la dernière fois, c'était surtout parce qu'ils ne savaient pas se comporter. Il leur fallait un mode d'emploi dans la vie parce qu'ils mouraient à 30 ans, ces Mongols. Ils jetaient la merde par la fenêtre, les rues étaient pavées de merde. C'est pas des expressions, c'est vrai quand tu regardes. Et ils étaient cons, en fait, du début à la fin. Donc, il leur fallait un mode d'emploi. Et il fallait uniformiser le truc. Il fallait formater les gens à se comporter d'une façon. Parce qu'ils étaient cons, en fait. Donc, le seul moyen, c'est par la peur et la manipulation et le travail psychologique, en fait.
What do you mean, how do they know?
because you're saying that's the forbidden knowledge, like in the book of Enoch. How would they know that knowledge if it followed after their participation
No,
of
that's
the
not
forbidden
true.
fruit?
That moment in Enoch is supposed to
Surpass it.
Et comme tu peux voir, la discussion, elle est toujours difficile avec des gens qu'on leur a bourré le crâne depuis qu'ils sont gamins. Et ils parlent par tradition et tout, c'est de la mythologie, c'est du... ils aiment le discours fantastique et tout, c'est les mêmes qui aujourd'hui, quand ils vont sur les réseaux sociaux, et qui a un narratif sur tel rappeur ou telle célébrité, et que c'est faux, mais qui veulent le croire à fond, tu vois, c'est le même truc.
It's supposed to be at the same time of creation.
So how would eating that fruit give them that knowledge based on what you're implying if it's supposed to be
Enoch
evil?
says the angels taught them how to make swords, how to do makeup, how to
Right.
do this, how to do that. That's all the knowledge that they weren't supposed to have. But the God said, don't eat it because, you'll die.
I'm telling you what the forbidden knowledge is. The forbidden knowledge was sex, and that's the act that they
So
did.
why is sex
so that's
forbidden? Why is sex forbidden?
Because the format of how they had sex, they were supposed to reproduce, and they were supposed to have other children, not in that format. The format that you're mocking about the rib, this was how they gave birth before. That was an act of God.
So men give birth by having a rib taken out and are you
in
are
that
you
time
just-
frame.
We're not doing science anymore, right?
Go
We're
ahead. No,
just-
we could go science.
So
Go ahead, I'm
where
listening.
in science did a male ever have a rib removed and then become a human being?
That is not accepted anymore because we're no longer in the Garden of Eden. If we were in the Garden of Eden, we would still be doing it.
So sex
they
is
surely
sex is evil.
Yes, in the
So
practice
when
of how it was done, that's why the serpent introduced sex to Eve, and they brought in Adam to introduce it to him, and they were cast out.
On dirait les fans de manga, exactement c'est ça, on dirait les fans de manga qui parlent du lore autour de leur manga et de leurs trucs. Et on dirait exactement le même truc, sauf que là, ils parlent de la religion et des humains et tout. Alors, bro, tu vois bien que ça sonne faux, là. Il voit pas là ce qu'il dit, ça sonne faux, il est con.
The Garden of Eden.
So sex is evil. So all the prophets throughout the Bible, Moses was born through sex,
Yeah.
Elijah, they're just evil because their mom and dad decide to reproduce.
That's why it's important that we have the
So is it
sacrifice
evil
of
for
Jesus
dogs to
Christ, so
have
that way
sex?
it's not
Is it
evil
evil
anymore.
Is it evil for?
It's animalistic.
Why do animals have babies and have pain like horses and
Yeah, of course.
and dogs? Did they get cursed with the sin of Eve too?
We weren't going to be submitted to the same pains of animals. We were above animals. Now we're at the same level of
So
animals, and
have
it's
to get it too?
no. I'm saying they were already getting that. We are now
Oh,
going
really?
through the same pain of
Is that in the
animals
Bible?
now. Well, where else would they get that from? If they were
Bingo.
already, so go ahead.
It's not true.
But look at
That's
how
ridiculous.
you'd
You
like
just
to.
answered the
You'd
question.
rather relate with animals instead of being
No,
above
you'd
animals
rather,
and be the
you'd rather
gods.
say something
That's
ridiculous
why.
that people having sex to actually live and survive when God says be
That's
fruitful.
why we're having sex now, because we're out the
Bible
Garden
said
of Eden. We're out the
before
Garden of Eden.
before Genesis 3,
Mhm.
God said, be fruitful and multiply, guys. And in
No, they have sex because they love dick.
say, guys, get your ribs out. We need to fill this place up with people. He said, I made you male and female. Be fruitful and multiply. We know that it's reproduction.
But you understand that the design of that garden goes beyond comprehension. That's why it's told the way
you know
that
what
it
you're
is told.
doing.
I'm listening.
This is like eisegesis, but I'm okay with it. I'm rolling with it.
I'm listening.
So we're all freestyling and flying by the seat of our pants at this moment because you're like saying things that never were said in the Bible. There's nothing at all saying that it was sex. There's nothing at all in there.
But I'm saying,
But
so
that's
what is the
Christian
forbidden
church-
knowledge? No.
That's what the Christian
So I'm
church has
asking you,
taught
what is the forbidden knowledge? I'm telling you what the forbidden knowledge was that was gained from there, and that's why her childbirth was painful. That's why the children.
C'est des déductions qu'il fait en fonction des différentes perceptions des gens. Et ça, la perception, elle est basée sur ce que tu as vécu dans ta vie, ce que tu as vu, tes différentes influences et ainsi de suite. Mais ça, c'est des déductions faites selon la perception de la personne là, par exemple. Tu vois?
That they had from sex, one of them murdered the other ones because they're born the knowledge of forbidden fruit, from that forbidden fruit. They're born of the knowledge of good and evil. That's why Cain was good. That's why Abel was evil. Abel was good. Cain was evil.
Attends, viens là. Pourquoi le truc il te dit Adam et Ève seraient estimés à la création, ça aurait été estimé au moment de la création du monde en 4004 avant JC, alors que le monde il est là depuis des milliards d'années. Et l'incohérence elle est de partout. Il n'y a même pas besoin de parler d'Adam et Ève, c'est sûr que c'est bullshit. Hein. C'est fictionnel. C'est un récit fantastique. C'est juste pour... c'est une reconstitution d'une image. C'est pour s'aider à pouvoir interpréter un truc. Mais c'est... Alors attends. Ça dit quoi? Adam et Ève pourraient représenter non pas le premier humain biologique, mais le moment symbolique où l'humain se découvre lui-même. Bref, bullshit.
And Cain killed his brother. They were fruits from that
So
labor.
Cain was good. You said Abel was good, right?
Abel was good.
Wasn't Abel born by sex?
Yes, he was.
how would-
But
I
that's
thought
the
you
knowledge
said-
of good and evil. The evil was still inside of his brother.
okay.
They're good and evil.
Let me
right
tell
there.
you why I say Jesus is, because this is,
I'm listening.
Jesus is a serpent in the garden according to the text, because the Elohim did lie. In the text, if you, because you have fact checkers here,
Mhm.
if you look at Genesis 3, they say at the end, they are going to be gods like us. They are going to be gods like us. Before Genesis, before that, they said, hey, you guys are going to die. Which one is it? The lie was that they didn't want them to be gods. I can prove it in the Bible. They are going to be gods like us. Then they said, we better hurry up and get them out of here. I'm paraphrasing. We better get them out of
Okay,
here.
we're by the seat of our, the
No,
whims of our
because
seat.
you're, and I love
I'm sorry,
talking
I'm
about-
listening.
No, I just want to get to the core of it,
Yeah.
that it's solid.
Yeah.
They say, now we got to get out of here, because now that they have knowledge of good and evil, the gods they'll be able to live forever. So when you understand, when you break constructs, when you.
It says that they'll live forever.
Yeah,
specifically?
it says, unless they take hold of the tree of forever life or something like that, the tree of life, and
Okay,
and
and that's
live
where the
forever.
forbidden fruit was.
No, it was forbidden from them because they didn't want them. Christ says,
Well, I'm saying you said that they will be gods unless what? What was the stipulation for them being gods?
They've become gods like us, knowing good from evil. You have to be able to know good from evil to be a good judge. The word Elohim means judge as well.
Of
It
course.
means government, judge, God. So if I'm going to be a good judge, I have to know good from evil. Why would a God, by the way, why would a benevolent God not want you to know good from evil? Don't you tell your children when they're born, that's not good, that's good. You want your creation to know good from evil. So there's the point that that's not God anyway, and that they lied. But I digress. Let me go back to what you
listening.
asked me. They tell them at the end, they say to each other, we got to get them out of here, because now that they know good from evil, they're going to be gods. Christ told us all the time, you are gods. Who hated it? The evil ones, which are the symbolic of the Elohim, the Pharisees and the Sadducees. They were the ones that said, oh, why are you teaching them this? Oh, we got to kill this guy because the people are getting knowledge. Christ is showing them that they can be gods. Get it? The serpent told them, you can be gods. Christ told them, you can be gods. The Elohim said, don't do that. We don't want you to be gods. The Pharisees said, don't do that. We don't want you to be gods. Jesus is the serpent in the garden. That's a
So
representation.
that's an
of Jesus.
ex facto way to break it down, but that doesn't mean that Jesus is the.
Pour moi, j'ai 0,001% de connaissances dans tout ça et tout. But for me, yes, he's the serpent in the garden. Comme j'ai dit, ils veulent diaboliser tous les trucs et tout. Je l'ai dit tout à l'heure.
The serpent himself.
Okay,
There's
well-
no text that supports that. It's just
I just gave you text.
No, you're giving me text and you're giving me context.
No, I'm
and-
giving you the actual scriptures in the Bible.
But I'm saying Jesus did say that, but that doesn't mean that he existed during the same time of the Garden of Eden.
Excuse me? I thought Jesus is everlasting, aren't
But
you
he's
Christian?
yes, but that's the consciousness
wait,
of Jesus at that
doesn't
time when he
John-
came in the
what does it
physical
say in
flesh.
John? What
He
does it
came
say
in the
John?
physical
Hold
flesh.
on, I need
John
to answer.
3:16 or
What
which
does
John?
he say? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, right?
Correct.
So I thought Jesus is there in the beginning.
Right, the conscious of Jesus there in the beginning, but
The con-
Jesus as
oh,
the
it's the
physical man,
context. Wait, you don't-
Jesus in the physical sense existed around before 33 AD.
Right,
Jesus
because it's
existed
not just about
2026
flesh.
years ago.
He came in different
But
times.
what evidence would give you that he is that serpent specifically? You're using the same words that the
I just
serpent
gave
did.
you
Does that
evidence.
mean that you're the serpent?
Wait, I just gave you evidence. Jesus
said
Okay.
Jesus said that we can do the same things as him and more through God.
Through God, okay.
He said we can do the same things and more. So it doesn't mean that we
What
can
did the
just
serpent say to the
capitalize.
people in
Hold
the
on.
garden?
But did he say through God? Did
I
the
wanna stay on
serpent
your
say?
point. I
I'm
wanna
staying on
stay
the point.
Moi, c'est pour ça que je pense qu'il ne faut pas apprendre la religion à ses enfants. Parce qu'après, ça crée ces personnalités toxiques. Il faut leur apprendre la conscience de l'intellectualité, de la compréhension, et d'avoir le choix et de savoir faire un choix, de prendre une décision, et d'avoir la compréhension des choses. Parce qu'automatiquement, après, quand ils grandissent, ça fait ce genre de personnalité toxique comme ça.
Jesus said we could do it through God. Did the serpent say that you could do it through God, or did he say you have to do it behind his back?
Jesus said, you will be gods, right?
No, he did not say you will be
Oh, really?
gods.
They didn't tell Jesus, why are you saying, Jesus said, aren't,
Jesus
they
did
wanna-
not say you will be gods.
Oh, wait, hold on. Jesus says, ye are gods. Doesn't it say that in Psalms 82? That's what
Yeah,
Christ
but
said
he's not
in
saying
the
you
gospel.
will be. He's already
No,
claiming it.
my point, the God, stay with the God
I'm
part.
staying with it. Okay.
Christ said, ye are gods.
Mhm.
Doesn't it say that in the Bible? And by the way, he's talking about sons of God.
Of course.
In Psalms 82, he's discussing the sons of God, the Elohim, which is, that's like a play on words. But anyway, Christ says, ye are gods. Doesn't it say that in your scriptures? In the garden, Christ said, oh, they don't want you to be gods. You guys can be gods. Eat that fruit. Ye are gods. Basically, Christ wasn't saying, hey, all you sinners are gods. He says there's a way to become God, and it is to
But
follow a certain path.
two different entities saying something that's
It's
the
the same.
same does not mean it's the same person.
Oh, it's in the understanding of Christ in the
Moi, je pense qu'il faut qu'il y ait quelqu'un qui ait vraiment étudié le sujet, qui ait vraiment la connaissance et qui vienne faire l'interprétation inverse de tout ce qui est la religion. De tout ce que j'ai dit tout à l'heure déjà.
Bible. We know that Christ is everlasting.
Ils veulent diaboliser la vérité, donc ils diabolisent Satan, alors que Satan is the truth, maybe, you know. Dans cette optique-là. Et j'ai pas assez de connaissances pour le faire, sinon j'aurais fait.
Christ is always present. Do you not agree with that as a Christian?
I agree with
Has
that.
Christ been around before he was born in 26 years ago,
Yeah.
roughly? So you agree that Christ was here before, right?
Now, this is what I want to
Well,
ask you.
well,
Do you mean physically or spiritually? Was he here before?
Spiritually-
Spiritually, he was here before.
And does-
Physically, he was not here
And
before.
does spirit manifest into flesh?
It can.
It can, or does it?
It can. It doesn't always happen
So-
that way. There's some spirits that still exist that have not
No,
manifested
I'm
in the
saying
flesh.
the flesh that is here, is there spirit in it?
That's correct.
Okay, so.
And that has the breath of
so-
God, the breath of God that we were
There you
discussing
go,
earlier.
yes.
Ah, ça vient de couper là, ça s'est remis.
Christ always existed.
Hmm.
We agree that that flesh holds spirit.
Correct.
So you understand my concept that Christ was there in a not in a different type of form in the garden, and then later in the gospel, Christ came as flesh and blood.
So why would you determine that? The serpent did not reveal himself to be Jesus. He did not reveal himself to be the Savior. The snake did not reveal himself to be the one to help and heal. Jesus told you he's the
Oh,
Savior.
so the serpent
So
didn't
Jesus-
help them by
hold on.
saying you could be gods?
Jesus did help. The serpent did help them. Jesus, when he talked to his
The serpent
people,
did help them. Wow, I love it. We're doing well. You're making some progress.
I'm telling you,
you've got some real-
the serpent helped them
Oh,
to
s-
give them the option to do what they wanted to do. And that option was
Does
still
Christ
on them.
help you to
And
give
they
you
still
that option?
disobeyed. They still disobeyed. And look at the consequences that they had. It's the evidence there that they did not live eternally that they were supposed to. But Jesus came back to rectify that and told us how we can live eternally.
Stop right there.
Go ahead.
When Jesus came, did he say, if you follow this path that I'm showing you, pointing to, you will be able to
listening.
live forever?
He said through God, and
Okay,
that
yeah,
was
we got that.
right.
Through
So
God.
that's the path.
That's not a
The
part of
serpent didn't.
En fait, ils font les aveugles sur les différentes incohérences et ils tirent tout dans leur sens à chaque fois.
Not tell them through God. That's why I'm telling you the
serpent did tell
contradiction
them
that they.
through God.
He did
Yes,
not tell them through
yes,
God.
the
He told
serpent
them through
did.
the forbidden
No,
fruit.
the serpent told them through God because the serpent is part of the Elohim as well. When you say
You see how
ser-
you're
if
playing
we
with the
look at
words of
Dr.
it though?
if
Like
we-
he's distinctly told them through the fruit.
If we look at what the late Dr. Michael Heiser teaches, he doesn't teach Jesus as a serpent, but he talks about
Mais c'est une représentation imagée. Lui, il prend ça au premier degré exactement comme si c'était un déroulé des faits exact, alors que c'est un schéma du truc. Putain, j'ai pas le bon vocabulaire là.
the Elohim. He
Correct.
even teaches, he breaks it down, that the Elohim is a type of spiritual, we look at the seraphim, we look at the Nahash in the Bible. Those are type of fiery serpent-like beings. Earlier someone
But
brought
that's all interpretation.
I want to give you some actual facts.
I'm listening to
No,
it,
no,
but
it's
that's
not
still based off.
interpretation. It's
But
not-
you're saying a fire
not-
is a serpent. How is a
C'est plus raconté comme une recomposition des faits, comme quand tu regardes un reportage là. Et les gens ils prennent ça au premier degré exactement, et c'est ça, c'est la vraie histoire de quand c'est passé. Comme si moi il m'arrive un truc là et je reviens en live le raconter dans 1 heure. Alors que non, c'est pas ça du tout. C'est un discours imagé. C'est pas réellement l'histoire. C'est juste une notion, on va dire. C'est pour aider à la compréhension.
fire a serpent? That doesn't make any
I'm trying to
sense.
tell you.
Okay, I'm
Because
listening.
one reason a fire can symbol.
Et du coup, ça laisse la liberté à toutes ces différentes interprétations des gens et tout. Donc, selon d'où tu viens, ce que tu as vécu et tes influences, ça va être pris différemment, ça va être compris différemment, et ainsi de suite.
Symbolize a serpent is
It
the way.
symbolize. How is that a fact?
Okay.
Okay,
You
go ahead.
asked me
I'm
to tell
listening.
you why would Dr. Heiser and others say that a serpent is fire as well.
Yeah, I'm listening. Sorry.
They move like a flame. They're symbolic. Throughout even other texts, ancient texts, serpents were divine. They weren't seen as evil. So Michael Heiser doesn't say Jesus is a serpent, but he does say that it's the Elohim who are fiery beings. In the desert with Moses, when the serpents bit the people, they said they were fiery nahash. They were actually shining, fiery beings. That is a serpent as well. Because of those beings were type of, you can call them heavenly bodies, watchers, whatever you want to call them. So in the garden, when you hear serpent, Christ existed as one of the heavenly bodies, just like Satan existed as a heavenly body. There was no difference. The whole count, Satan is no different than Christ.
So
as far as
based off of what you're saying, the serpent represents this fiery flame, right?
the serpent was a seraphim or a nachash.
Okay, so let's just go on that basis.
And
Do you
Elohim
understand?
were also
But do you
nachash.
understand that the serpent in the Garden of Eden wasn't like that kind of serpent? It
Oh,
was a
really?
different serpent.
Where do
It
you
had
see that?
legs and it was casted
Where
out.
are you seeing this?
It was casted out the Garden of
Can you
Eden
show
where
me
they
where
removed
that is
it.
and what text?
Yes,
that it
please.
says that it
This
has
is in
legs?
Genesis. That it was
It's in
it
Genesis
was
that it has
cursed to
legs?
slither around for all time after that.
Wait, so it said it has legs.
It was cursed to slither after its punishment.
I want to get back to before the curse.
Go ahead.
Where does it say that it has legs?
So
in the
why would
Bible?
it have to be cursed to?
Les livres religieux, ils sont conçus pour avoir une réponse à tout et pour que tu puisses croire aveuglément à tout ce qu'il y a dedans. Et c'est toujours fait de façon à ce que tu puisses pas le contredire. Putain alors.
Slither afterwards. If you're able to follow context clues, what was it doing before that if it's slithering afterwards?
All of us have imaginations.
I'm
but-
not saying imaginations.
And I'm imagining,
So
go ahead.
why would it now start slithering after the Garden of Eden if it's already been doing that? What authorization happened?
Okay, that particular verse.
Are you
about-
familiar that there's an authorization that happened that had to occur for it to have that punishment afterwards?
When it says you're cursed to, that's very esoteric. When it says you'll be cursed, you'll be lower. Let me ask you a question. Is Christ downtrodden? Is Christ lower in the gospel? Or is he a king with glory and is he rich? Or is he
C'est la plus grande propagande qui a jamais pris depuis l'histoire des humains en fait, tout simplement.
a pauper that hides and he was crucified and he was spit on and hated? Which one is that? Which one was low? Was Christ a king or was he spit on and low?
That is interpretation.
No, it
It's going to
isn't.
be based
I'm
on
asking you a
interpretation.
question.
Because
In the gospel-
Christ was king. He
No,
was
was he a
revered.
rich,
He was rich in
respected-
favor, and he was respected. When
Oh,
he
he was
walked
rich
through
in
the crowd,
favor? What
when they
Bible are you
grabbed on,
reading?
he was rich and
couldn't even
favored
find
by
a
the
place
people.
for Passover. He said, see that guy with that pitcher of water? Go ask him if we could do Passover at his house. How is he a king?
Okay, but did they not still
I mean-
obey
I
him as
mean
if he was a
material
king?
Material.
No, but I'm not speaking of material. You asked me a question. I'm telling you that they did worship him and he was still a king. There were still people bowing down and kissing at his feet the same way
Yeah.
that they would a king while he walked through these
Right.
grounds.
Mais le plus fou, c'est qu'il n'y a jamais eu personne, il n'y a plus jamais eu d'humain magique qui est venu avec le message et qui a écrit un livre, ou la suite du livre, ou le livre numéro 2, ou tout simplement une nouvelle religion, et Probablement, il y en a qui sont venus avec des nouvelles religions, mais ça n'a jamais pris comme ça. Parce qu'aujourd'hui, c'est impossible, en fait, ça marcherait pas.
They still gave him a chariot
So
ride, and he even had a
rich?
crown.
Was he rich?
And he had a crown.
Was he rich?
He had gifts of gold by the three
Oh,
wise men when he was
good.
born.
Was Christ rich in the gospel?
Christ was rich.
Okay,
Christ was rich.
okay, so
Go
let me
ahead.
tell you, Christ was not rich in the gospel. Christ said, even the Son of Man doesn't have a place to lay his head. He didn't even have a place to live. He was homeless.
Yeah, because
Why
but
are you saying yeah?
home was heaven.
You just
Of
said
course
he
he was
rich.
homeless.
Why are you
We
agreeing
weren't
with
home
that?
yet. He was
Wait,
still walking and
why
leading
are you-
everyone
wait,
to
wait,
home.
I'm going back to what you just did.
I'm listening.
You said, yes, Christ was rich. And
Yeah,
I
he
almost
is.
said the L-I-E word, but I don't want to be rude.
Go ahead,
So
I'm
I went
listening.
to the scriptures and I showed you a scripture, not my feelings.
I'm listening.
It says Christ was homeless. And then you said, yeah.
He was homeless.
So was he rich?
Yes, he's still rich.
Okay, this is crazy.
I said he was rich in favor. Did I
So
not
rich
say he was
people are
rich
homeless.
in favor? He turned away all worldly possessions to
I'm
prove
gonna
his
ask
real
you again,
richness.
because we're talking
So
about
what
that.
is? But are you saying materialistically rich? Because are you
That,
basing?
yeah, that's what I've been saying all this time, because you brought up gold.
I already said, but I said he's still gifted gold by the three wise men. Was he not?
Did he live in opulence? Did he say, hey?
Did Jesus have money and was he popping tags? No, Jesus
Great,
wasn't
stop right
popping
there.
tags.
Do people make fun of Christ more, and Christians more than any other Abraham, more than Islam, more than Judaism? Do they really, are the
That's all
Christians?
perspective as well, because
Okay,
Jews
right
will tell
there.
you that they're the ones that are being the most.
So are you agree
ridiculed throughout the
Christians are the
planet.
most ridiculed, right? They're the lowest.
I didn't say that. I said
Okay,
that's all perspective.
Can you make fun of Christ without getting, worrying about somebody doing something to you?
You
like-
can absolutely do it. We've seen multiple
Without
people say
getting
blasphemous
canceled,
comments.
without getting unalived, right?
There's
So
a
when-
gentleman
so
that
the
makes a
scripture-
career
my-
of stating
So my
statements about
point-
Jesus right behind
So
you.
my point is, when you look
You.
So my point is, when you said, oh, and look, it says he's gonna be low in the dirt, that's the symbolism. Christ is low in the dirt. Nobody respects Christ, let's be real, besides Christians. Everybody makes, the history, it's clear that there's historicity of Christ, but you can still sit with people and they'll tell you, no, there's no historicity of Christ, he's the lowest
So
of all.
you're saying he's the
Nobody
lowest of
respects
low.
Jesus, so that's the point of that. Back to what I was saying.
No,
So
but you're
that's the
saying that
point
he's
I'm
the
making.
lowest low.
Back
Okay,
to
go
the
ahead.
thing about the serpent. It's not a literal snake. It is, according to Dr. Heiser.
But you play
and
back and forth
myself,
between what you want to take literal
I'm
and
really
what
just
you
giving
want to
you
do as
facts and I'm giving
symbolism.
you my breakdown.
But you're saying the facts is based off of what is literal, and then you say it's now a metaphor. So I don't know which way to follow how you're handling the
You shouldn't be in the
conversation.
Bible if you don't know how to look at metaphors.
But
What
I
you
do. But I'm going off of your words. I'm trying to follow you right now. I'm not follow. You're not the
Okay,
Bible.
so
I'm
what part
following
don't-
your words.
You kept bringing up, that's a little complex, but I did entertain it about the dirt and the lowest dirt.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's not a real snake. It never was a actual snake.
But you just
In-
told me about the fire being the symbolism for
Yeah.
the snake, and that was your proof that you
Fiery
utilized.
beams,
So
shining
if you're,
beams.
but no, if you're
According to
utilizing it
scripture.
because of the way that the flames look like a
Seraphim,
snake,
Seraphim.
seraphim. If you're saying for seraphim that the flames look like a snake, I'm going based off of that. That was your proof and evidence.
Well, that was one
But you were using
example.
that. That was your evidence that the snake there had to be Christ. Now you're saying it's not a snake, so you're agreeing with me.
No, it never was a real, literal reptile.
Correct. Okay, so what was
Because
it?
do snakes talk?
No, but I'm saying
I didn't-
you're the one that was using the basis of the snake and saying Jesus was
Because
a
it's
snake there.
symbolic. It's
So-
not a real snake.
So what is it then?
I just told you they were
It was-
angels.
it was
like,
fire.
well, they were.
That
they
looked
were-
like a snake.
No.
But it
but
wasn't a snake.
The Bible.
Based off of snakes.
Remember, we're talking about the Bible.
I'm listening. I'm following.
The Bible says there's seraphim,
Mhm.
there are nakash. The Elohim, it doesn't literally say, excuse me, it doesn't explicitly say. The Elohim are seraphim, but if you look at Isaiah, there's guardians around the throne in Isaiah, I believe it's 14,
Mhm.
and those are a type of shining, fiery beings.
So
And-
did it
and
state
if you
that was
deduce-
the being in the Garden of Eden?
Again, I'm getting to that. If
I'm
you
listening.
deduce that the throne, the people of the throne, the sons of God,
Mhm.
these divine beings are represented in Isaiah as these serpent-like beings, you can say, oh, okay, that makes sense, that this serpent in the garden is not actually a snake, it's an angelic-like
I
being.
can agree to that.
So that's the
I can agree.
Let's wrap it up.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate your stance on it.
What did?
The Bible, the snake, about the snake, they said about the snake, it wasn't actual snake.
And that was the first thing that I said, that it wasn't an actual snake. But then we went to that interpretation. But I understand. So I thank you for your
All
time.
right. Thanks for staying all the way to the end, guys. It means a lot to me. If you could please leave a review on Apple, that helps us climb the charts. It helps us get way more guests. It helps us continue growing the podcast as a team. So it would mean a lot to me if you left a review on Apple or wherever else you're listening. Thanks so much.
Pour le petit déjeuner,
Claim then is black people should get reparations. How do you feel about that?
You know, I think if black people were to get reparations, everybody else that has gone through historic injustice should also get reparations. So I'd be cool with reparations as long as people that had historic injustice, including like Native American, everybody needs reparations. It's one of those things where if one group gets it, other groups that have gone through historical injustice need to get it for the sake of fairness.
So nobody received reparations.
I think it's either or.
No, I'm saying, have anybody received reparations?
Well, you know, there's been historically reparations. I think we've seen it with like the Holocaust, for example.
No, I know. I said, in slavery, have anybody received reparations? Because you suggested that if one person received reparations, then everybody else should. Have anybody received it?
I don't think anybody has.
Well, I'm going to tell you a fact that's a lie. They did receive reparations. Everybody that had a slave, then white, they received reparations for the land and for the things like that. So reparations was given. And you suggested that if it goes for one, it should go for all. So you suggested that black people should get reparations, not me.
I mean, there was the 40 acres and a mule thing.
Right now, that'd be billions of dollars that they're supposed to get. But listen, I'm going to say this. When it comes to reparations, a lot of people suggest that people should get reparations. But first, I think they should tell people where they're from. See, what's more important than reparations is where I'm actually from. See, reparations not going to help me. Money's going to be here today, gone tomorrow. They give me 40 acres and a mule. They give me 40 million. I'm going to spend it. It's going to be gone. I want to know where the fuck I'm from. I don't give a fuck about reparations. I want them to unravel history and stop giving me his story. I want that. I don't give a fuck about reparations because reparations was given to the people that deserved it, and evidently the white people deserved it because the white people got it. They already got reparations.
Well, when you say you all, I mean, I don't know if I consider, because again,
I mean, your ancestors.
Well, it's not my ancestors though. That's the issue with, I think, just calling people white just because they look white. You know what I mean? Like, because it's not like it has certain connotations of what that means.
I like
but there's
that.
a lot of white people that have actually gone through historic injustices like black people have for different reasons. I mean, I know my ancestors were like straight up like 75% of them were murdered because they were Christians. They were Christians in a Muslim area. So, and they lost like 90% of their land. I would love that to be resolved because this was like 100 years ago. It wasn't even that long.
What land?
Like half of Turkey's Armenia. Half of Turkey's Armenia, dude.
You
like,
Armenian.
Historic Armenia.
But you white.
Biblical Armenia.
But you white.
But what is white?
But
though?
you white.
What is white though?
But you white. When you get done talking, you're white, right?
What is white though?
What are you?
I mean, I consider myself like Near Eastern, Caucasus. I'm from the Caucasus Mountains.
When you get done talking, you're white. You was genetically created, right? You are a human. You were created to work, right? You were created to say everything that you're created. I wasn't created to follow what you're saying. That was not for me. I'm the creator of what you're saying. I taught you everything you know. And that's what you don't get, right? You go sit here and suggest that you stole it. I say you didn't steal it. I say I gave it to you. The information, everything in the world, I gave you. I gave it all to you. Right? I don't think you get it. I don't think you understand.
I don't understand that.
So reparations, I know it's confusing because everything's confusing. Life is confusing. But you suggested in the beginning it's about reparations, right? But you suggested that we should not get reparations, but we said we should.
No, I think everybody
you
should
said
get
we
reparations.
should
Well,
if
nobody should get reparations.
yeah, exactly. So somebody got it, so everybody should get it.
Yeah.
So you already on my side. So you always on my side.
Probably, yeah. I mean, if you're talking about how historically white people, when their slaves were taken away, were given reparations.
It was never slavery. Slavery never existed.
You know, what do you mean?
I mean, prove it. We're a slave ship. Slavery never existed because Christopher Columbus didn't find America. People was already here, and there wasn't no damn Indians because the Indians already said that we was here and that we gave them something, right? And what we gave them was weapons, right? I don't think you get that, right? So your history is wrong, right? Everything is wrong. I don't want reparations. I want America, nigga.
I agree with you about discovering where we're all from because that's the issue that exists with white people. How like just because you look white, you're kind of put in a bucket. That also exists with black people because historically you got the Moors and all that, and like people don't talk about that.
Well, listen,
People don't.
I'm saying my kind are different. When you talk about Africans, you talk about all those. You heard the story about black people sold black people. Well, black people didn't sell black people. Africans sold me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you get it, right? Because we're different. Just like you suggested,
No,
everything is
I
different.
I get where you're going with that. I do.
Yeah, everything is different, right? But as far as reparations, I don't think you're gonna say this that cotton. Everybody say okay, picking cotton, but cotton was a major thing that they were selling a lot, right? You can't find nothing without cotton, right? And everybody look at it all because that built America, right? That helped build this nation, right? But it ain't something that they suggested. We was already selling cotton, nigga.
Yeah.
That's what we was already doing,
Yeah.
right? They came in and took over it. Just like right now, if you look at a whole lot of shit that so-called black people created, the white man decide how we use it. And so, everything is like that in this prison planet.
Cool. Yeah. You want to get up here?
Thanks for watching all the way to the end, guys. Please hit like and subscribe. It helps us grow the show and helps us get bigger guests. Thank you so much.
Oh my God.
There's not many white people here, so.
See, I don't know why you just lied. See, when you say stuff, I gotta let you know.
That was a lot?
Yes, a lot, because that's true, because out of black is how you create white. So every black person you see here is white, because that's how you get it. You cannot get a black person from a white woman. But
So
you
he's
can,
black.
Of course.
I'm black.
Street
Of course.
dress through the roof.
Of course. See, I think, y'all.
You can say the N-word?
Yeah.
I think so.
Y'all separate things, but
You
everything.
can say the N-word.
Yeah, listen, the
Don't
N-word.
set me up for that. Sean's gonna go. Sean's gonna go him
You
too.
can say it. You can say it.
Like how he didn't say me.
Listen,
So he can do the thing.
You can say it, because in history, y'all was actually trying to say it. I can't say the word. I think it was Nagra. I forgot what it was. But
I know.
But they heard that word. And Naga. So they was trying to say that. Yeah, so it's okay, it's proper to say. But I think that people let words attached to their emotions. So if you let a word attached to your emotions, that's your fault. Right? A word should not attach to your emotion. A word is just a fucking word. That's all it is. But people put words in higher places.
So you don't think there is white? I mean, so like him, and so it's the whole putting all white people in one bucket thing's interesting, because he's like trying to be distinct about where when you get pulled over, you're not like, I'm Armenian, It's like sometimes you want to get put in that fucking bucket, So let's not act like everyone wants to, you get pulled over, you're white. If you're saying that reparations do or don't, I don't even understand your take. What is your position?
I'm saying that reparations was given, right, to the people that had land.
To the white people.
Yes, I'm saying we want the land. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying we don't want reparations. We want the land. If we can't have the land, we don't want anything. And then I don't want the land either.
Maybe just like some of the land.
I don't want some. I want
the
all.
good parts.
No, I want all. I want the good and the bad. I want the land. Because when America first came over here, it was already a president here. What happened to him? He's on the back of the $2 bill. Right? He was already here.
That?
Yeah. I don't think you understand. The first president was Abraham Lincoln. Right?
He's a white guy.
I'm not too sure that Abraham Lincoln was even white.
All right. Well, I mean, if I guess I have no proof of it.
I'm not sure that he was even white. I think history has been whitewashed. I don't think.
I mean, that's a fact.
Well, listen, but I don't think it was done like a lot of people say that it was stolen or it was done like that. I believe, like I said, that it's black people doing it, and white people are doing it for black people.
So black people are behind the scenes pulling the strings regardless.
Yeah.
So you think they were in charge when there was black people being sold for slavery?
Still in charge and been in charge to this day, right? Y'all are just a cover up. Welcome. I'm keeping it real, right? People understand, but they're gonna agree. They're gonna say it was a black Illuminati, it was a white Illuminati. They're gonna say that everything that black, it was white, but they're gonna say everything started from the black. Right, so what makes you think that you're controlling something? No, you're being controlled, because everything that you learned from a person with melanin in there. Melanin, what's that word? Melanin in there? Yeah,
Melanin.
They had that in them, and they taught you, right? And then you begin to teach. So what make you think that you got better than the master? You didn't.
So you don't think that slavery was real?
No, slavery not real. We prisoner of war.
Because that's not even a reparation thing. Slavery just didn't exist to you, or
slavery was different. Slavery was different. See, slavery. A lot of people assume that slavery was a lot of people fighting, but slavery was an attack on this.
Yeah.
This
black people,
bloodline. bloodline because, like, you can tell because
What do you mean?
all the white nations. That's why I say they're all white because all of them joined together and attacked us. Right? They attacked us. You can see they landmarks is there. If you go to St. Louis, a whole lot of Italian shit there. Right? Because they attacked us. Right? You go to different places, you're going to see.
Italy attacked St. Louis?
Yeah, of course. All the European nations attacked America because we was here.
That tracks.
That's how they took it from us. We fought them for 300 years.
You were here.
I mean, yeah.
No, you're Indian too.
No, Indian. What? Indian,
Native American.
No, that's crazy. Indians told you that we was here before them. Indians, because I just told you this. Indians had a little spear, and they gave it to Christopher Columbus before he started boiling them and eating them and frying them and eating them. Before he started eating them, they gave him something. Yeah, you know that they ate people when
he was eating them.
He was eating them.
I know he was a dickhead. I didn't know he was eating people.
He was eating people. Right, frying them, boiling them, sauteing
them. Would you eat a person?
Anybody that ever ate McDonald's ever ate a person.
You think McDonald's is serving human meat?
They tested it, and it had human meat in it. I'm not suggesting anything. They tested it, had human meat in it, and McDonald's said this. McDonald's said that it only got human in it because humans touched it. That was McDonald's excuse. McDonald's excuse that humans touch it, so of course human meat is going to detect.
No, there ain't no McHuman. There's no 10-piece McHumans.
Yeah. Okay.
So hold on. How about Burger King? Are they serving people?
Listen, I got a problem.
Because it can't be just
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
I got a problem. Everybody say they serve how many billions of burgers do Burger King say they serve? How many billions do McDonald's say they serve? So how many?
7.4. No, I'm just kidding.
How many cows is it?
I mean, it's a lot.
How many cows is it?
But there's a lot.
No, not that many.
There's a lot of cows.
But not that many to say that.
There is. Do you know how? It's not like one cow per hamburger.
Where are the dead bodies at?
The dead cows?
The dead bodies, the human bodies. Where they at? Why ain't no more cemeteries getting built? Why is the same number of cemeteries around and everybody keep dying? Because they change it after every 50 years.
And they take your body.
Listen, if you come back in 50 years, that tombstone gonna be gone. Then you never get the casket. The casket is sold to somebody else the moment your funeral over. I'm keeping it real.
So your body, what happens to the body? It gets sold directly to McDonald's, and then they liquefy it and put it into the fucking McRib?
Listen, everything is fake. Even the recycling.
The McRib sounds kind of crazy.
Everything is fake. Did you know this? That everybody right now is recycling shit and recycle bins, and that's fake. We haven't even figured out how to recycle shit. Right? I'm keeping it real. For real, you think I'm playing? No, America don't even recycle. All the recycle bins are fake.
They haven't figured out an effective way to do it.
No, if you follow the recycle bin, it's going to go the same place. The rest of the trash go all in one spot. So that's fake. Everything is an illusion. Everything is fake.
Yeah, I guess you see the trash and the recycling get thrown into the same thing sometimes, and it's like, this must be the same.
No, it's the same. Everything's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, I mean, I guess if slavery didn't even exist,
now,
then
slavery
there's
exists. We're a prisoner of war. Slavery never existed.
Right. What if someone enslaved you right this second?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. The only slavery that exists is the same slavery that exists now, slavery of the mind. Right? Jesus enslaved people. Right? Allah enslaved people. Right? Every religion enslaved people. Jobs enslaved people.
Oh, so you think people are enslaved to their job?
People are enslaved to anything.
How about their partner, too?
Oh, yeah, of course, to your partner.
A relationship?
People are slaves to their mother. Listen,
that's not a slave. That's just like a relationship, right?
I gotta fake it. When I go in the house, I gotta pretend to be son.
You gotta pretend to be your mother's son.
I can't act like I was just acting with my female. I can't be boyfriend. I gotta put on a different face to see my mama. Right? I gotta put on a different face to see everybody. That's how the world works. So I decided to stop doing that.
Final point?
Yeah, my final point is I think you're a gem and you need to be protected at all costs, you know? I think you need to be protected. That's all. My final point is that I just hope no harm comes your way.
What, you threatening me?
You need, obviously. Nah, I would never do that. BDGD Vice Lord.
If you learned anything from this episode or got any value at all, please share this episode with a friend. It helps us grow the channel, it helps us grow the podcast. It means a lot to us. Thank you so much.
Monsieur, le ballon, si tu arrives.
The shroud. Do you guys want me to pull the photo up again?
Yeah,
sure.
But check out there's like carbon dating that was done that was more recent, where they actually dated it to like 2,000 years ago. No, for real, look it up.
What do I look up?
They carbon dated it where it's like literally right at 2,000 years old.
Well, I heard you mention
and by the way, I don't know if I even believe in carbon dating. I just want to put that out there. It just, which I don't think negates the point I'm trying to make.
Well, I think that we were talking about the historicity of Jesus.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you cited was the Shroud of Turin. I was raised Christian. I remember actually having a book on the Shroud of Turin as I probably still have it. I have a lot of books. A book on the Shroud of Turin. I was very interested in it. But let's be very clear. In 1988, 3 different laboratories in different places, including one in Arizona, actually took a small portion of the Shroud of Turin and did independent analysis. All 3 of those spaces found that the Shroud of Turin dates to somewhere around the 13th or 14th century. So I want to be clear. And then they also looked at the way that it was woven, and they said it was typical for the Middle Ages. So let's be clear. The Shroud of Turin, something that was important to my thoughts as a Christian, as a young Christian, has been thoroughly debunked.
I don't know if it's been thoroughly debunked. Let's agree to disagree on that part, because I've seen the carbon dating. I've seen the 1200s version, but I've also seen more recent carbon dating. And I think they just took a sliver of the thread and they said that this was pretty much from that era. But let's not argue on that. I'll give you a few more points in order to kind of historically prove that Jesus existed.
Why don't you? Okay, so I'm not going to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Because I think that when you have folks that are able to do the actual scientific analysis that everybody in the world uses to understand the origin, the source, the material of foreign objects that have some sort of organic origin. You can't carve in stone and rock. This is what we should recognize and understand. Now,
okay,
I want to say something else. If the Shroud of Turin is fake, and I think that it has been debunked, that doesn't mean that in and of itself it means that Jesus did not exist. That's one thing that has been debunked. It's just a thing you mentioned. That's why I'm bringing it up. Yeah. But I'd love to know, you also mentioned there were many other sources. I'd love to know what you're referencing.
Sources are like the 12 disciples that see this man beat death. And then it is such a powerful thing that they witness that then they decide, I don't even know consciously, but they decide that death is nothing. And then you have these 12 disciples going through horrible tortures because they were Christians. They weren't just killed. They were killed hanging upside down, crucified, their skin literally torn off their body, like flesh literally. And, you see the guys' insides, you know what I mean? So this is stuff that is the most excruciating pain, the worst kind of death that you could imagine. Yet these 12 disciples walked into that death singing hymns, talking about Jesus. A lot of them are not even feeling the pain while they're being literally killed slowly, like William Wallace. There's horrible stories how they killed William Wallace, cut off his private parts, all that kind of stuff. These are insanely painful deaths, and yet they would not deny Jesus during these tremendously painful deaths. Not only were they not denying Jesus, they were in joy that they were getting killed. So that to me is for 12, you're a man, I'm a man. What could we see, you and I, that could take the pain of being tortured to death away? So that's another one. Let me give you another example.
Before you do that, I'm going to say something very briefly.
Go for it.
Those stories are quite dramatic, but we have no historical evidence that they actually occurred.
We do. I do.
I want you to tell us about that.
Look up old Armenian monks that were around during that time. And, mind you, Armenians are 8,000-year-old people. We're an ancient people. Look at their writings. Look at their manuscripts, what they actually witnessed.
This is all. No, we're talking about the. Wait. Don't broaden the lens too much. Let's keep the aperture where it was. We're talking, you're mentioning the 12 apostles. By the way, apostles. You should also know that in the Bible, we're not always clear about what that number is, right? We say 12, but there's some people who are well, maybe the group is a little larger, right? There's no definitive list. These are the 12, nobody else.
Yeah.
Let's be clear about that. So I want you to also recognize that 12 as a number is used because of its numerological value.
Okay.
And so as we try to look for something that is historically proven as a literal event, even when we try to find these 12 apostles, we struggle. I'd love for you to show me a tomb of someone.
From our ancestry, from our history as my ancestors are Armenian people. I gave the example of Saint Bartholomew. There's actual manuscripts that exist that talk about how Saint Bartholomew was a disciple of Christ who's in the Bible, then goes, and I think in the Bible it's like it might be Nicholas or something, but Bartholomew, same person. He comes to the Armenian highlands. Nathaniel. He comes to the Armenian highlands, and then he preaches Christianity. Armenia becomes the first Christian nation as a result. In the process of him teaching Armenians Christianity, this guy is basically, skin torn off, tortured to death, and these are things that we hear amongst my ancestors that made such a powerful impression. This man literally was like destroyed.
We hear these things. It's not just your ancestors.
Yeah.
Lots of folks tell those stories. What I am saying is we don't have any definitive proof that they literally happened. These are stories about individuals who, by the way, after forsaking the Savior, it's interesting that when he was alive and they could say something, they were like, not me, I don't want that to happen. But then all of a sudden the story is that after his death, after seeing him risen, now all of a sudden they actually go to their death in these painful ways because they are true believers. There is nothing that we can find, tangible material culture, material sources for any of those things. We have stories of many of the people that we call apostles, right? They're stories. They're stories. When you go to Alexandria, you'll hear about St. Mark establishing the church there. You'll hear all of these stories. But when you look to find something as definitive proof, there is an extreme paucity of it. Listen, I'm a Kemetic priest, right? I'm not saying that something that's mythological is irrelevant. I certainly wouldn't say that. I'm just saying that when we try to actually shoehorn things that are mythological into a literal historical history, we have lots of problems. And I think that most people who are believers aren't even aware of any of it. They're not aware of any of it. And so that's the challenge that we have.
But that's part of faith, though. Like, you're wanting like empirical proof, and part of faith, part of history is that you're not going to have empirical proof.
Wait. Now you're saying faith and history.
Well, you're looking for an answer to faith through history to say, look, this is empirical proof that has existed. Now, obviously, we have a disagreement because I'm talking about the disciples, I'm talking about Christ. Another thing I want to bring up is I was a TV producer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I did some ghost hunting shows, and I did some exorcism shows, like actual with Catholic priests and all that
You
stuff.
found St. Bartholomew and exorcism?
No.
Oh, that would have been interesting.
No.
Come on. So I would have been like, I must bring the camera right now.
What's interesting is, and this happened way too many times, it's like in the absence of what happens in those moments, you realize Christ is there. And let me tell you why. Because you sit there, you could be like Gandhi, you could be like Buddha, you could carry a Buddha statue in front of these demonically possessed individuals, and they will not react. But you say the word of name of Christ, you hold the cross up, these things freak out. And this wasn't just like on one occasion, it kept happening over and over again. Why is it that—
What's the name of Christ?
He's a Yeshua.
Oh, wait a minute. Now you said it was the name of Christ. Now you're not sure what the name is?
No, Yeshua.
Weren't you the person in the room?
Yeshua.
So you say Yeshua to these demonic individuals?
No. When you say Christ, or you hold the cross,
his name was Christ.
It freaks these demonic,
His name was
demonically possessed indivials. Yeah.
His name was Christ.
Well, no. When you say that name, it freaks him out.
Wait.
Buddha.
Is Christ a name, or is it a title?
It's a name. Like, isn't it his name?
No. I don't think any biblical scholar would say that his name was Jesus Christ. That's just what you yell when you stub your toe.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is that Christ is a title. In fact, it even predates those.
Okay, regardless
stories.
of what it is, why is it that these individuals that are demonically possessed don't react to Buddha? They don't react. You could say Gandhi, Buddha, whatever you want. You say the name of Christ. You hold a cross up. They have a physical reaction. Whatever's inside them is rebelling against that. You see evil come out. So doesn't that tell you that there's something?
These are people who have been connected to, familiar with the Christian story. And I really don't believe that the name, a title, by the way, a title that is using vocalized sounds that didn't exist in Aramaic, didn't exist. I mean, you realize that you're saying Christ, but no one would actually say that's the name of Jesus. No one would actually say that that title didn't predate Jesus, and it probably wasn't pronounced exactly the same way. Isn't that peculiar that someone would respond that way to something that is not strictly connected to Jesus as you're trying to?
I mean, I don't know the answer. Like, there's a
Okay.
lot of answers I don't have, but
Okay.
I realize that for some reason, this is the worst thing you could bring upon a demonically possessed individual is the name of Christ, the cross. For some reason, they react to that. Now, do I understand what is the reason? Do I know the details of what happened in history that validate that? I can't answer that because there's a lot of things that we don't know. But I see from the reaction of these demonically possessed individuals, I see by the reaction of the apostles who were that were willing to die for the cause. And then there's a shroud of Turin. And for me, there's way too much information out there to validate the fact that Jesus was alive, including, by the way, you say, okay, there's no proof. Read some Armenian manuscripts about St. Bartholomew and his preaching and how many Christians died.
From what period?
Bartholomew was killed on 69 AD. So anything Byzantine era, which is basically the closest era to Christ. And by the way, when you go into the Byzantine era, you notice that from the proximity of Christ's time, and again, this is written in the old Armenian historical literature, that there's a lot of miracles happening, water into wine type events. And then that dies down as the Byzantine era dies down. And if you actually read the Bible, it is in the proximity of Christ that these miracles happen. So what I see during that time in the Byzantine era is a lot of miracles happening. Then they die down, we go through dark ages. Now we're in an era where these miracles are coming back. People are actually seeing these miracles. So does that mean Christ is coming back? I have no idea. I'm not that smart to understand.
I would say that in this instance, we have to recognize that one of the reasons why we are told by people who are Christian leaders that we have to have faith is because they know that once you start asking questions, what they're saying unravels. That's the reason why they say you must have faith, my son. Well, I was raised Christian. I was told that when I'd ask some questions. They'd say, well, this is a crisis of faith. And I wish I was astute enough at the time to say, no, this is a crisis of fact. What you are saying to me is not factual. That's the challenge that I have. Now, and I don't have any problem whatsoever with you drawing inspiration, solace from a narrative that helps you live as a decent human being. That's not what I'm talking about. If that's what you're going to do, wonderful. Do it all day long. But I'm saying that when we begin to do two things, shoehorn the Christian narrative into a historical, literal narrative, first of all, it doesn't fit and it causes lots of problems. And then the other thing that Christians end up doing is they look at this story, this recent story. Human beings lived for a long time before these stories, had many, many books and texts. This recent story, they begin to now tell that story as if it is the history of all humanity. This is a problem. This is a problem. If you want to be Christian, great. But now that you have said this story is literal, and it is the salvation of every person on the planet, we have a problem. Because there are a multiplicity of traditions, older, there are a multiplicity of people in different cultures. We have a problem. So you're telling me that a guy with a cow that lives someplace in rural China that has never heard of Jesus, he's going to hell because he didn't.
No, that's not a claim I'm making. What I'm saying is also, if you look at the way the world is constructed, and what we were talking about before, we're living in a slave world. And if you look at how the Federal Reserve Act was written, for example, that is written to enslave us. Now you counter it with the teachings of the Bible. It's literally an inversion of God's word, right? And that's the trick. That's where you see that through what the evil does to enslave us, you see that it's an inversion of what the teachings of Christ.
Are you saying that the Federal Reserve is an antichrist?
Yeah, very clearly I'm telling you that. Very clearly I'm telling you that. I'm telling you the medical system is antichrist influenced.
You're talking to a descendant of enslaved Africans. The most heinous things that ever happened to human beings happened to people that are in my direct lineage. Some of whose names I know.
I could argue the same thing happened to our people. They were literally pregnant when we were getting their bellies cut out.
I'm very aware of the Armenian genocide, and I'm not trying to say that it's not something that more people should know about. I've studied the Armenian genocide, and I think that even calling it Armenian genocide causes problems in certain parts of the world.
Oh yeah, totally.
That's real. That's real. I'm not even saying that wasn't.
And that's an example of an antichrist movement, by the way. And this is the point I'm trying to make.
Why is it an example of an antichrist movement? Sometimes human beings do terrible things to other human beings. This has nothing to do.
Because the teachings of the Christ are all
Other
about
than-
liberty, freedom, our sovereignty as
I
individuals.
really wish that you could have a time machine and go back to tell that to the enslavers who forced my people to practice Christianity. I would love for you to tell them, you're a Christian, why are you doing that to these people? And then why are you forcing them with the Bible? You know, just a short period ago, you've heard of Georgetown University.
Yeah.
Did you know that Georgetown University had a major financial crisis? And in order to remain solvent, what they did is they sold their 272 enslaved people. That's how Georgetown still exists. It's sometimes just referenced as a 272. And those people were all Christians. All of those enslaved people were Christians. We have a record of one of those enslaved Christians who had gone to the pastor and said, I hear that you're going to sell us. And that pastor said, no, that's not true, my son. And a few weeks later, here he was being put in chains and being sold into the deep south, more arduous slavery. Do you know what he said? You lied to me. Can you at least give me a Bible? He was given none. That's the tradition of Christianity that I am riling against.
But you're talking about flawed humans that are that are able to make evil out of anything.
It is so unique for us to then say that everything that people have done under the name of Christianity that is evil is flawed.
Well, okay,
It's so
I'll give you another reason why the Christian church, because you're talking about human structures, right? If you even look at the way the Christian church is right now, where you got to go apply for a 501 to start a church, right? 501 nonprofit. You don't have to. I know.
Yeah,
I know you
that's
don't. You and I know
misnomer.
that, but most people.
I run a spiritual institution.
Most people think that you have to do that. Now, what are you doing when you go and you start? You ask the government for permission to have a church. You're actually, and then you realize what is that government's agenda? You realize you're literally signing your name to something that's.
You've already acknowledged that if you have a spiritual institution, you are not obligated to file a 501c. You're not.
Most people don't know that though. 99.9% of people don't know you could start a church off of an affidavit. You and I obviously know that.
I don't know why you would say most people don't know that.
They don't
I
know
run
that.
one. I don't have a 501c3. In fact, I got a 501c3 for a nonprofit, but not my spiritual institution.
You know how you know most people don't know that? 99% of churches are 501cs. 1% maybe in the entire country are done off of affidavit.
I don't know about your numbers.
Most of the functioning was 501cs because you can't even function. The way the system's built is unless you get a 501, if you try to do it off of affidavit the Christian way, the way the Bible tells you to do it, well, then you can't even set up a bank account most places. It's still possible. They just make it a lot harder. They want you to have an EIN,
Yeah, well, you have an EIN. That's how they're able to track
then you're under that system. You're answering to government. So
you actually think your social security number is a demonic device?
I think all of it's demonic. I think because the way they do it, if you actually look at the way the government works and how they monetize us as human beings, each one of us has a value. Like they collateralize us as humans. They're like, all right, your life value is worth $100 million. Okay, we have $100 million in the bank. That's the way it works. That's the way the Federal Reserve works.
That is not how the Federal Reserve works.
No, that's how it works.
Listen, there are a lot of folks who have said that to me in my community. I've debunked it 80 trillion times. The Federal Reserve is not raising money on your social security number or on your value. It's just not. This is something that you could, and by the way, you notice that it says 99% of churches in the U.S. are 501c3, while they're saying, the AI is saying you're wrong. But I want you, and by the way, look at the Georgetown University 272 enslaved people. That one is correct.
You want to look up what percentage of churches are 501c?
What percentage of churches are 501c in the United States?
I just want you to know that you have a lot of beliefs that are connected to things that are completely unprovable. And that's not necessarily a bad thing.
I mean, most of it is unprovable.
But remember, what we're talking about is whether there was a historical, literal person that we could call Jesus Christ. And I'm saying that when you actually look at the evidence, as I have done for 30 years, 30 plus years.
All right, so why did the disciples all decide to be massacred and follow this?
I'm telling you that's part of the story, dear friend.
Okay, so how does that, I'm trying to understand how that even comes about.
We have no material because some folks wrote it and it's a powerful story.
But let's go back in time 2,000 years. The Roman Empire.
That story is not 2,000 years old. It is not.
Whenever Jesus was supposed to have existed,
okay.
They claim he went up against the Roman Empire. Why would the Roman Empire want to create this fictitious thing to control the world back in 0, 30, 40, 50 AD.
Well, let's be clear. The
Why?
Roman
Because they're
Empire-
trying to kill
the
all the
Roman
Christians.
Empire. I don't believe the Roman Empire creates the narrative of Jesus Christ. That's not what I'm saying.
Well,
that's
not what I'm saying either. I'm saying the Roman Empire was against the
There
idea
were
of Jesus
early
Christ.
Christians.
Yeah.
There were early Christians, although, I'm going to beat you up on Tacitus a little bit more. Because it's one of the things people mention. I think you're going to too.
Which one? Say that again.
Tacitus.
I don't know what is Tacitus.
Okay, so I'm not going to beat him up.
Okay. What is Tacitus?
That's for our other friend that spoke. But it's one of the sources that people use. I want to just be clear that when you look at the sources, they're wanting. There's a lot that we don't, that we can't actually prove. And this is the only time that we would use even those sources as a source for historicity. None of them are written during that period. We have anonymous texts that we know have been edited. We can see many of the major life narrative of Jesus occurring in other periods before there was ever a Jesus. We even see
But that's prophecy, though. You could say that's prophecy.
We even see early. I would love to hear which church would agree that the narratives of ancient Kemet were prophecy for Christianity. I'd love to see which churches. By the way, there are a few, but they were all black. I just want you to know. But really, the Church of Black Madonna is one of them. I'm a historian. I have to stop myself from speaking sometimes. I'll give you lots of sources. But I want you to know that when we look at actually trying to find things that can prove that there was someone that did the things that Jesus did, performed these miracles, let's say with the name Yeshua, we struggle. The best case is the one that comes from the Talmud. And they say there are 3. And those descriptions, that's not the Jesus you're following. Sometimes people will say disingenuously, well, Jesus exists in the Talmud. And they're saying that because they think that the person they're talking to has never read the Talmud. That's usually why they say it. And so the question you have to say is, well, which of the 3 do you think is Jesus? Because there are 3 of them. And so there are lots of different ways for us to slice this. I just want to say, when we look at all of these facts, we have to say, even believers have to say, this is dubious. This is dubious. I'm not talking about your faith. I'm not talking about your belief. If this works for you and makes you a decent person, wonderful. Do it all day long, twice all day long.
It's not only that. It's like I've seen so my background is in investigative journalism. I've actually studied on how they make our money, how this entire matrix is built. When you see that this is an inversion, because the Bible's all about Christ and Antichrist. When you realize that this is an inversion of God's message, of the message of Jesus Christ, and it is leading to it is leading to the same enslavement of the people that Jesus Christ was talking about when he took out the whip and he berated the money changers and stuff. This is the world we're living in. We're living in the Antichrist world right now.
I want you to glance at the screen.
What is it?
Keep looking. Christianity is directly influenced by Kemet, ancient Egypt, and indirectly by mystery traditions, supported. I just want you to look at that. Sections of the Bible, specifically Proverbs, come from Kemetic texts, like the book of Amenemot.
Voici 4 raisons de devenir télépilote de drone.
I'm not saying it wasn't historically influenced. I don't think Christianity just landed and all of a sudden appeared out of nowhere. I think there is historical precedent. I think there's prophecy. I think people, the mystics, realized that there was something coming.
But how do you call it prophecy when one group of people actually decides that they're going to take liberally from another tradition and then annihilate that tradition?
I mean, I don't know if that's something that they did cognitively.
Now, I'm an author. I've written a book,
Yeah.
right? Right? If you had found out that Jabari Osaze wrote a book, and then someone said, wait a minute, this book, word for word, was written by someone else. Well, who's that other person? I don't know. He died, and Jabari was, strangely, he was at the scene of the murder. You would start saying, wait a minute, something nefarious has occurred.
But then you got to look at humanity and be like, all right, so Napoleon, when he made that famous statement of how Jesus Christ was more influential on the world than he could ever be, right? Now, when you look at that, and you're talking about millions of people that have fallen into this hallucination, are we distrusting humanity so much where we're saying that millions, potentially billions of people are out of their minds.
It's over 2 billion people.
Are they out of their mind, or is there
No.
something to this that we might not be able to capture in a literal sense and make it make logical
Once
sense
again,
in our world, but it is something that nonetheless exists because you got 2 million people that would die for Christ.
It's not 2 million, it's
2
2 billion.
Sorry, 2
But
billion.
I want to be clear that I'm someone who was once Christian, right?
Mhm.
And some of the most beautiful people that I know are Christian. I'm not even saying that there isn't value in studying many of the, not all of it. I read the Bible very critically. Not all of it. The misogyny in the Bible is ridiculous. But honestly, when we look at what some really wonderful people have done because those stories have touched their lives, I'd be crazy to say you should take it away from them. I'm talking historically now. I think we have to recognize that Christianity came from somewhere. And
I agree with that. I agree it came from somewhere.
And as it came from somewhere, we have to look at where it came from, how it was created, and who sought to author a literal historical tradition. That you have to see is the Roman Empire, and it occurs in the 3rd and 4th century. That's what has happened.
But the Romans were against Christianity, though, in the beginning. I mean, you're talking about 300-400 years
I would
later.
argue that Christianity would not exist were it not today, were it not for the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire takes this small itinerant thing and makes it essentially this massive tradition.
Mm-hmm.
It would not. So when you say the Romans were against Christianity, there were some examples of them being against the tradition earlier. But at the same time, you have to say, without the Roman Empire, let's just be clear, what's the largest Christian denomination in the
Well,
world?
Roman and Byzantine. Byzantine Empire carried a lot of the Christian traditions.
Wait. No, you're not answering the question. What's the largest Christian denomination in the world in 2026?
Protestant, probably?
No.
Roman Catholic?
Roman Catholic.
Yeah.
So let's be very clear that this is what occurred. By the way, look, contradicted.
It says largest Christian denomination is the Catholic Church.
Yes. It's
Well,
the
I'm
largest.
talking, when I say Byzantine, I'm talking about like 300, 400 AD. I'm not talking about modern day.
But the Byzantine Church is part of the Roman Church.
Mm-hmm.
You'd realize that, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a
Okay.
lineage. Yeah, totally.
It's
But-
part of the. So you're not describing something different. If it was not for Constantine,
No, my point is the tradition was carried and was strong enough, and it was based upon something real and tangible enough that it made it to 2,000
but what
years
do you
later.
mean? What do you mean by real and tangible? I don't have a
Like
problem
real
with
and
saying.
tangible is like, again, we disagree on this, but real and tangible is whatever the 12 disciples saw, willing to sacrifice one's life for whatever they saw. That to me is real and tangible because people don't walk into death, if they're believing in nothing. Like you wouldn't be like, all right, kill me. I'm going to sing songs now as you're skinning me alive. If you thought that what comes after is not greater than what exists today.
But see, what you just said is not about the historicity of Jesus.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not talking about the historicity. I'm talking about the real.
Well, that's what we're talking about.
I'm talking about the reality of a living Christ existing right this moment.
Now, when you say a living Christ,
Yes.
once again, you may be talking about something that is larger than a literal guy that made cabinets and wore sandals with some long hair.
I mean, I don't look at it.
You're
this is
talking
God
about-
we're talking about. There's a manifestation of God.
Well, listen, I'm talking about, I'm really talking about how people use the best teachings of the Bible. And there's some amazing teachings of the Bible, right?
I mean, if you
there's
look
wisdom
if you look at what the world was before, the reason we have a semi-civilized society right now is because of the Bible.
You're talking
Is
to a
because-
historian.
No, because
No.
if you go back in time, I mean,
No. How many millions and
Morality
billions
is
of people-
Christianity
Wait a minute. Come on now. You're also talking to the descendants of slaves, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So
You're talking to
there's
the
no
descendant
way-
of a slave too.
But
actually,
there's no
yeah.
way that you're going to get me to agree that Christianity has been this panacea for the world's ills. Because the reality is,
That's not what I'm
many
saying.
of the
That's not what
worst
I'm saying.
things that have occurred with people that wore a cross around their neck and said Jesus.
Yeah,
So
crusades, I agree. I
let's
mean,
be
used
clear.
for political purposes.
Sure.
Roman Catholics selling a gateway to heaven, all satanic ideas. Yes, I know. I know the church has been misused for corrupt, evil things.
But you're making it sound
much
like the
more so
world-
than good things.
You're making it sound like the world before Christianity was this horrific hellscape. and then Christianity came, and now we all agree. I would love for you.
That's not what I'm saying.
I'd love
It's
for
still
you
a
to-
horrific hellscape. I
I'd
think it
love
gave
for
us
you
a
to-
semblance of
I'd
morality
love for you
of
to
what the
say
right
that
way
to the
was.
272.
To who?
To the 272, those people that were sold by Georgetown University into more arduous enslavement. That institution is still one of the most revered academic institutions in the United States.
We just talked about how Christianity has been used for evil a lot,
Yeah,
and I agree.
but I'm
So
saying
that
then
272 is a great example of what I
But
just
then you
said.
can't also try to make this sound like Christianity came and the world is better. I don't know.
No, I don't. I'm not. I'm saying, yeah, it is better, but it's like far from. I mean, we're still living in Satan's playground right now.
Okay.
It's better to the sense of like if you decide to get the message of Christ, to improve your life, to improve your family, to improve your children, you have that option. It's something that you could pick
I
out.
always want you to glance at the screen every now and then.
I don't know. To be honest with you, man, AI. I don't know. I don't know if AI is a good like AI. I've searched for example, the manuscripts I talked about, monk manuscripts. I've been to actually Caucasus and I've been to Armenia. I've seen these things. You ask AI right now, it'll tell you it doesn't exist. I tell you it exists. I've seen it myself. I've talked to people.
The challenge is that they're not ancient. These are things that people wrote more recently.
Not the stuff I'm talking about. I'm talking about ancient. I mean, I would
Because
highly
those haven't been documented online, so it can't pull it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like, getting some old Armenian manuscripts from like 1500, 1800 years ago is not going to exist on ChatGPT. It exists, though. I mean, I highly encourage you to go and hang out with some Armenian Orthodox priests and ask them to, hey, what's in your traditions? Give me the information you have. What is the...
Listen, I do that, right? I do that. I also have an MDiv, so I enjoy this kind of thing. And I think that some of the folks that are in these traditions, all of them are amazing, right? They're good people, right? So I would do that. I would literally do that. But we're talking about historicity now. Okay, I don't have my MDiv hat on now. I have my historian hat on now.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I think that we have to just recognize is a great evil was done when these earlier traditions were destroyed. And they were destroyed largely. I wish I could just show you some images now. If
You're talking about the Gnostics and stuff? Gnostics?
Even them,
Yeah.
I mean, why did they think they needed
By the way,
why did some of them think they needed to bury their text in dusty sands in Kemet? Because they began to realize, wait a minute, we're getting wiped out. These texts should still survive.
By the way, I know about this stuff too because the Gnostics, a lot of them were ancient Armenians, and we've actually heard these stories in our culture where when Christianity came, they killed a lot of people to cover up what came before that because they want to erase that history.
I
know about
say
this.
to people they need to read the book Jesus Wars. Anyone who's seen me on other platforms knows I say it all the time. People nod, almost no one ever reads it. But we need to be aware of how this tradition came into existence. People think that reading the Bible will give them the history of Christianity. It will not. It will not. You have to understand what happened, who did it, why, and when. And when you begin to study the historical narrative, you see some things that are really, really disturbing. And this is a real concern of mine. And I think that you also have to, let me just finish the sentence. I think you also have to, when you look at some of the texts, even those in Armenia, you'll actually see that those texts are not contemporary to, contemporaneous
to Christ's time.
Christ. And that's the challenge.
Now, you're asking.
Wait, but let me say this. Did decent people write something that was supposed to tell people how to live a good life? Sure. And that's wonderful. We should read them for that purpose, right? But when we're trying to say this is actually a historical narrative and it existed just as we've been told, that's where we get into trouble.
I won't argue with you. That's not as we've been told. Because I think a lot of stuff's been switched around, a lot of lies introduced. My core belief is that yes, I believe that there was a Jesus Christ. I believe that changed the direction of the world. I believe that this is a living Christ, living figure, and the beating of death, the idea that he was able to beat death, I think is the point of basically telling us that we're in a matrix that is a death matrix. It's all evil. It's all to invert what is right, what is the message of Christ, and you have an avenue there to an afterlife, to living forever like Christ as long as you realize the matrix we're living in. And if my final point is what I've realized is the existence of Christ is because of the inversion of our laws and how that is their number one goal, whether it's like the family courts that take away kids, whether it's robbing us of our money in this usury system, everything leads to the opposite of what Christ wanted. If you look at every ill of society right now, of what's happening, it is the inversion of Christ's word.
Some of the people doing it are some of the most pious Christians. At least they say.
I mean, the devil comes in many shapes, brother.
Well,
you know that is somebody could sit up there and be like, I'm Christ-like, and they're a Judas. There's a lot of deceivers like that.
I would honestly say
there
are tons of deceivers. I don't know if the answer is Christianity, but I do think that if we were going to link arms and try to fight against some of the evils that have happened in this country, are still happening, we would agree on that. I'm just saying to you, when we try to find a historical tether to the narrative of Jesus Christ, we struggle. The narrative of the disciples, we struggle. And I'm going to end with this. For almost 2,000 years, when people think of resurrection, they think of Jesus. For over 3,000 years, when they thought of resurrection, they used the name Asar.
Yeah.
And so we should understand.
By the way, one quick point I want to make.
Sure.
This could be a cyclical thing too. It could be because if you look at the world, a lot of the things that we're learning now with the floods and all that, how humanity basically reaches a pinnacle and then it destroys itself and then a new civilization is built. It could be that every cycle is a Christ-like character. I don't know. I'm too stupid of a human to know what is the reality.
I don't think you're stupid.
Of the the different dimensions that our eyes don't see. We see 3% of what's out there, right? But I do think that, my personal opinion, I think there's a core in this that is literally like you could be evil, you could be good, and that's what it is. I think all the church, the Christian, the this, that. I think it puts, when you put titles on stuff, it destroys it. Black, white, whatever. You know what I mean? It creates divisions.
Right.
To me, it's very simple. It's black and white. There's good, there's evil. The word of Christ is good. And then what I see our governments do, the Federal Reserve do, the family law courts do, everything in this constructed world is an inversion of that. Right?
Everything is evil in this.
No.
Wow.
If
you have a driver's license?
If you actually investigate,
You have a driver's license?
I do actually.
Oh my goodness, you are agreeing with the devil.
No. But I mean, look,
everything is evil.
I think when you talk about government and what they've constructed, they've constructed an evil matrix. I'm not saying everything is evil.
Okay.
I'm saying that the matrix that was created is an inversion of what God wants us to be. That's it. And that is intentional. That is through our money. That is through our familial. That is through our courts. And it's all intentional to basically steal our sovereignty, because that's the devil's trick. They want us to make us slaves. They want us to make us physical slaves. They want to make us mental slaves.
Right.
And right now where we are, we're at a pinnacle of mental slavery in human history.
Okay.
I believe.
I think there's a lot for us to agree on, even though there's some things that we don't.
That's a
Well,
wrap,
we
guys.
agree on some stuff.
Good conversation.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
bro.
Really good
guys, check
conversation.
out the description. We'll include a link to everyone's social media handles. See you next time. Peace.
Thank you.
If you learned anything from this episode or got any value at all, please share this episode with a friend. It helps us grow the channel. It helps us grow the podcast. It means a lot to us. Thank you so much.
C'était un débat intéressant. C'était des bonnes conversations et tout. Bref, j'ai pas eu trop à réagir à la fin parce que ça a dépassé ma... Bon. Et je vais couper le live, on reviendra tout à l'heure. On va voir si je trouve d'autres vidéos intéressantes comme ça. Je vous dis à plus.